The only place where truth and justice in sports lives. Where is that? It's why people have now choose the fastest growing show on YouTube. The fastest growing show when it comes to Philadelphia sports and football. And by the way, we really cover everything. You know, all of us do. And we really appreciate that with you guys because we know there's other options out there. By the way, we are powered for the 4 hours here by our good friends at BetUS, and we so appreciate that. It's been a very interesting 48 hours here on the National Football Show. But by the way, Signature Open, Big Sills is in the house. Please hit the like button. By the way, that is one of the most important times of the program. Yesterday, to this point right now, it's up near 800 likes and what you guys have done. And we so appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay? I can't thank you enough. The Super Chats were off the charts yesterday. Incredible. Incredible. Look at this right here, guys. Look at this right here. In our show yesterday, our show, we had almost 8,000 people just in live chatting over the 4 hours. 8,000 people almost. Now, that's not counting the people who don't put a chat up that watch the program as well. Incredible. Incredible, man. I mean, and you guys keep going like this. Sills camp. These things are whipping through. Honestly, like I'm on a jet airplane here. I mean, look at how much you guys are making this show grow, man. 8,000 people chimed in yesterday on Super Chats. Or, excuse me, on chatting, live chatting. The Super Chats were off the charts yesterday as well. And we can't thank you enough, man. Hey, I need Just for Men, just like Sills. Hey, dude, the day I dye my hair, I'll kill myself. I don't dye. Big Sills doesn't dye his hair. I keep always getting that, too. Dye my hair? Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. I stick my head under a sink and I dye my hair. Hey, when I'm a little older, maybe. Right now, that ain't happening for me. Holy cow. Hey, by the way, the only hair I might dye, I'll leave it alone. My aunt watches the show. I'll leave it alone, okay? Because then I'm going to need my Manscaped tool. So I won't elaborate anymore on that. How you doing? All right, please hit the like button. First 15 are the most important. By the way, Yankees, you're done. I'm done with you. I'm done. Aaron Judge, I'm done with you. I'm done. You're no Reggie Jackson. You're no Derek Jeter. Hell, you're not even A-Rod. You're done. Hey, Aaron Judge, you're done. You're going to get swept at Yankee Stadium. I think the last time the Yankees got swept at home was 1970. You want to know what a freakazoid I am for Yankee baseball? I think the last time the Yankees were swept in a World Series was 76 when the Reds did it. And the Reds went back-to-back. Hey, you want to hear something crazy? In the National League, the last team to go back-to-back is that Big Red Machine. In the National League. The last National League team to go back-to-back is that Big Red Machine. Okay? I mean, dude. Yeah, Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper. How you doing? Got to step up, sons. Got to step up. Oh, yeah, Freddie Freeman. He's going to be the MVP for the Dodgers. Man, what a terrible, terrible showing by the Yankees. Unbelievable, too, for that fan base. And I'm part of that fan base. I've been since I was a kid. First team I ever rooted for were the New York Yankees. By the way, hit the like button, please. All Super Chats, go to the top. Stop hating on Hurts. Hating on Hurts? Hey, look, if the reality hurts on Hurts, suck it up. Suck it up. Okay? By the way, we got the numbers over the first 8 weeks. You tell me. And I know everybody's crowing after the Bengal game on what an elite quarterback you guys think that guy is. Anyway, like I said, it's Eagles and Jaguar week. So Doug Peterson back at the link will be what? Dude's got a statue out front. By the way, his statue actually looks like him. That thing that they made for Dwayne Wade looks like Mao Zedong. I mean, I posted on my X account. I said, who are the Heat honoring? Chairman Mao? I mean, it's got this guy going like this, and I'm like, that guy looks like Chairman Mao. And I'm going like, I mean, who are you honoring? Chairman Mao. It is Kelly Green week, by the way. Colts benching Anthony Richardson. They should. Hey, can you get a substitute in here for me? I'm a little tired. I've never heard that in my years playing and covering the sport, where I heard a guy that was a quarterback tap his hat and say, I need some rest here because I'm tired. I'm not sure I ever heard that. I'm not sure. Hey, look, here's Brian Sills. Could you imagine a quarterback saying, I'm tired? Dude, when my coach took me out, I threw my helmet. That's how pissed off I was. I'm not coming out of games. Hey, I'm tired. I mean, dude, that's not cutting it, man. I don't know what kind of attitude that is, too. You got to let that kid know, hey, you can't be saying that shit. Take a time out. Do whatever. Anyway, should be in a. Hey, are you going to boo? By the way, Diggs tore his ACL, Sills. Probably the best thing for the Cowboys. That guy sucked all year. Probably the best thing for that secondary. How are you going to treat Doug when he rolls back to the link? The Houston Diggs. Oh, okay. The Houston Diggs. Stephon Diggs. All right. It's a wide receiver. Who cares? It's a wide receiver. Stephon Diggs. Not the Diggs in Dallas. Okay. I don't know. Sure. All right. He's been on 5 different teams in the last 3 years. Who cares? Anyway, how are you going to treat Doug when he rolls back to the link? You going to cheer him? This will be a second time back now. So the first time you kind of gave him his roses. Are you going to do it again? Hey, look at this. The other Diggs. Oh, okay. They both suck this year. Hey, would this be fair? They both suck this year. Both Diggs suck. Okay? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with Doug this week? You going to cheer him? He won our only effing Super Bowl. Doug deserves a round of applause, said Xander Krause. Are you going to give him a little this? Or are you going to give him this? What are you going to give him? Give him this? Or a golfer's clap? Or a tennis clap? Whatever. Okay? What are you going to give him? Not the A-Rod clap. It's really weird. And you don't need tetracycline for that. Or for this clap, I should say. 4 claps. Let's go. Let's go kick his ass. Is that what you're going to do to Doug? I'm with you, man. I'm going to do this. Hey, Doug. Now we're going to – no, I'm going to do it this way. This is how I would celebrate Doug Peterson coming back to Philadelphia. Hey, Doug. Great to see you again. I'm sorry I'm going to have to kick the shit out of you. Hey, I love you to death, Doug, but I'm going to have to kick the shit out of you. You know, it's what it is, man. Hey, we love you, Doug, but I'm going to have to punch your face in. Hey, you could say that to your boy now. Doug's like your boy. You know, when you play a football game in high school against your buddy, hey, I love you, man, but I got to kick the shit out of you. Sorry, man. No holds barred here, right? Deontay Johnson to the Ravens. Wow. Teams making moves prior to November 5th, 4 p.m. Eastern. That is the trading deadline. That's a heck of a move there, man. Baltimore Ravens amping up the offense there for Lamar Jackson. I think they probably saw that in that last game against Cleveland. They need more help at the Y and Z. I mean, look, Zay Flowers is a good ball player, but hit the like button, guys, please. You were sensational yesterday. And like we said, almost 8,000 people live chatted the show yesterday. That's insane. I can't thank you guys enough. All right. I'm looking forward to this game this week. We're going to talk a little bit about what the coordinator said today. Also, Big Sills' top 10 teams, top 10 quarterbacks, MVP candidates, the 24 Jacksonville Jaguars. And I would say this to you. Let's start. Randy Cross, CBS Sports, owner of 3 Super Bowls, will join us at 3:30. We'll talk with him, both pro and college football. He works for CBS Sports on those great 49er teams. We will talk with our friend and then Xander at 4:30. We're working on a special guest for tomorrow. I'm not going to say who it is. Hopefully we can land the guy. We'll find out a little bit more. All right. First 8 weeks of the season, we had major blowback yesterday. Xander Krause even. Jalen is back to being elite. All of you. Not all of you. A good portion of you said that the quarterback has found his way. Has found his way since the bye. Okay? How has Hurts played for the first 8 weeks of the season? What do you think? First 8 weeks. Like I said, my balls are elite compared to Hurts. B, this guy says Hurts has played a B quarterback position in 8 weeks. B minus 8 weeks of play. Jekyll and Hyde says Mike. C plus. Okay. C. Well, let's take a look at that. 8 weeks of football. Here's who Jalen Hurts has been so far. He's 6th in completion percentage. Excellent. He's accurate. One thing you want in your quarterback is you want that guy to be accurate. Please hit the like button. Okay? And here's Steve. Let's leave this up. Steve thinks that Jalen's played elite quarterback for 8 weeks. Carlos thinks he's played elite quarterback for 8 weeks. He's 6th in completion percentage, which, like I said, is very important. And accuracy is important. He's 18th in interceptions. His success rate, he's 14th, middle of the pack. Sack percentage, 25%. He's 25th, I mean. He's taking sacks. Yards by completion, he's 10th. Pretty good. 10 yards of play, you want it over 8. Passer rating, he's 9th. Passing yards, he's 20th. Passer rating, he's 18th. That's elite. Remember something here. Some of you are going to go like this. Well, where's the rushing numbers? Kellen Moore wasn't brought in to improve Jalen Hurts' running ability. That's a foregone conclusion. He's very good at it. Kellen Moore was brought in to improve him as a passer. Does those sound like elite numbers to you and where he is? And by the way, I think one of the most important things you have to do is you do have to add the winning end, because that supersedes everything. He's 5-2. Hey, and by the way, don't dismiss the Giant win. Don't dismiss any win. Well, this is the lesser of an opponent, and they have a better resume. This is not college football. We see every week teams get beat by crappy teams. It's the NFL. It's matchups. It's the war of attrition. It's all of that. Okay? So, personally, how I look at him, I don't know. I think he's probably played C football. He's been average with one good game. That's the kind of comments we were trying to make to you yesterday. Is that in 8 weeks of the season so far, is he trending in the... Here, let's give the fair assessment without having any jaded opinion here. Is he trending in the opposite direction where he was a year ago? Yeah, he's trending up. How has he done for the season so far in 8 weeks of the NFL? He's played C football. How's he played if you want to cut it up even more and you want to take, what do you call it? What do you say? What I do? I cherry pick. Well, I'll cherry pick for you. Last 3 weeks, it's starting to trend the other way. A good way. Not bad, good. But so far, there's nothing that you could hang on here and say, has Kellen Moore improved Jalen Hurts as a quarterback? How about Jalen? How about this? Give me a grade on Kellen Moore's impact on Hurts. 6th in completion percentage. Good. He's still high in turnovers. Hasn't been lately. He's 18th. He takes a ton of sacks. He's 25th. Passing yards, he's 20th. Passer rating, he's 18th. Excuse me, passer rating, he's 9th. Passing yards, he's 20th. How's Kellen Moore done with Jalen improving him? Because, again, he was brought in to improve him as a passer. Has he? Ded's the Jew. Jalen is better against the blitz now. Seems it. Okay? Seems it. He played average, but he's trending to that unique style of 22. This is a great take. This is a great take here that made him elite. Holds the ball too long still. Absolutely. But listen, it's a different style than 22. He's being asked to throw the football more in 22, but they're also trying to go back a little bit to the 22 style that made him exceptional. And if you guys go back and listen to any show I've ever said, if you keep him around the rim of the 22 Jalen Hurts, I'm in with that. And the last couple of weeks, we're starting to see that he's around that rim. As long as you don't deviate off that style of play, you're going to win games. Jalen's record is 3-0 versus Mahomes, Allen. I don't care about this. How many quarterbacks can say that? Sills, just say elite, 9 wins yet. Hey, dude, that means nothing. Those guys don't play fucking defense. What are you talking about when you say that? That is the dumbest argument. When you say that, you're not gauged on wins over quarterbacks. You're gauged on wins in Super Bowls and playoff wins, not over the other guy. Lamar Jackson is the Aaron Judge of today's NFL. He's great in the regular season. But when he gets to the postseason, he loses. He loses to Mahomes or Burrow. That's so dumb. My God almighty. I mean, Jesus criminy. Because you know why? I can turn Arthur's thing around and go, this is the same guy who lost to dudes who lose jobs. Tyrod Taylor's on a different team. Drew Luck's on a different team. Zach Wilson's on a different team, and they beat him last year. Come on, dog. Come on. Every one of those guys I just mentioned beat your guy. If you want, and I don't go down that line. Holy cow. Hey, do me a favor, Xander. Make sure you get it to Randy. He's busting my stones. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much, man. Hit the like button, guys. I appreciate it. So when you look at him, has Kellen Moore made him better? Has he made him better? Get this. Sorry, dude, I don't take the Lord's name in vain. The one thing I'll do is my aunt hates F-bombs, but I don't use the Lord's name in vain. Defenses are now fearing to run. Helps Hurts a lot. Absolutely. You're opening up those passing games. Absolutely. I always hate the quarterback versus quarterback, the matchup of Brady versus Mahomes and Brady versus Manning. It's a media thing, dude. Absolutely, Samuel. It's a media-made thing. And by the way, I don't mind it, but it's not a metric that anyone looks at and says, well, he beat him. That's not how that works. If anything, when you play against Kansas City and when Jalen Hurts plays against Kansas City, he's not playing against Patrick Mahomes. He's playing against Steve Spagnuolo. Get this. This guy says I'm full of shit that Jalen Hurts, in his opinion, plays against Patrick Mahomes instead of Steve Spagnuolo's defense. Yeah, okay. If I'm full of shit, you have no sense. Hurts, 1544, 8 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Dude, stop doing that. Mahomes is undefeated in 7-0 and going for a third straight world championship. Okay? Stop that. Nobody in the NFL should be compared to that. Are you out of your mind? Okay? The plan's working, but the plan's working. Eagles win enough to keep Nick. We'll see. Thank you very much, 304. Big Mouth, Big Sales, take 4 weeks as a trend to bash Hurts and Eagles. We're talking about a 4-week trend. Now we could cherry pick. Really. I'm talking about the entire year so far. How's he played? Talk about cherry picking. Right. 10-1. When is Xander or Lee Krause coming on? I don't know. One of the biggest problems with the Eagles softball approaches to preseason is the OC impact doesn't materialize for weeks into the season. The trend has been encouraging as the season evolves. This is a great take right here. Relative, this is really good. That's a really good take. You're right. It's starting to evolve right now. You know what's – hey, Relative, didn't we say that this was going to take time? It was going to be choppy getting out of the gate? Didn't we say that? We said that to Talia, that said that this is going to be choppy. I'm surprised that the defense is kind of where they are right now. Okay, now get this. Here's another dumbass who doesn't listen. Let me give this kid an education here. Still says that Baker's better than Hurts. I said he's playing better. And as of right now, he still is. Because he outperformed them in the playoffs and in week 4. No. Yeah, okay. He's been playing better football at the quarterback position. Numbers dictate it. Numbers dictate it. That's a true comment. That's not an opinion. More yards, more touchdowns. I guarantee you, Baker Mayfield, if you look at this, if you look at where he is right now, we're talking about playing the quarterback position. If you look at him in 2024, let's take a look at it. Baker Mayfield is number 2 right now in passing yards. Hurts is 20th. Baker Mayfield has 21 touchdowns and 9 picks so far. How many does Hurts have? Hurts has 8 touchdown passes and 4 picks. Mayfield's got 21 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. How in the world are you saying that? How in the world are you really saying that Jalen Hurts is outplaying Baker Mayfield so far in 2024? Now it's numbers? No. I asked you if you thought that Jalen Hurts in the first 8 weeks has gotten better as a passer. Baker Mayfield is killing it. Every single number that shows you of a guy from the pocket is superior. He's second in completions, Mayfield. He's at 71% completion percentage, which means he's completing more passes than him. He's got 2,200 passing yards. He's got 7 yards a clip in 8 weeks. He's got 21 touchdowns. He's annihilating him in quarterback rating. What else is there to be said? Your guy's not in his league. Big Sills, do you expect the Eagles to make any kind of move? I don't think so. I think go big or go home on edge rusher. Yeah, that's probably right. But who do you think player-wise would trade away at deadline or after the season? I don't think they're going to do anything right now. I think they're pretty happy with the roster listening to Vic Fangio today. Is Jalen a better runner than passer, which I agree? He is a better runner than passer. If we have to be fair, and that is rushing, dual threat. Hey, but that's the Jew. That's not why Kellen Moore was hired. We already know that Jalen Hurts is an elite runner. I already know that. He was brought in to improve his passing game. Okay? Big Sills, read this, yes. And he has at the blitz, which is a step forward. Now the exact step is stepping into the pocket and reading, but it's one step at a time. And he's taking a step. Yes. Eagles 4-0 versus teams with losing records. 1-2 against teams with 500 records or over. Baker's better than Jalen, no question. I don't know about better. I think he's just having a better season. Please hit the like button. Okay, again, I brought this point up here with all these. Now listen, once again, I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about Hurts. Has Kellen Moore improved Jalen Hurts as a passer in 8 weeks of play? Yes or no? That's the topic. Has he improved him? We are critical of Jalen Hurts for being a turnover machine. In the same rankings, who were the top 5 in those categories, Sills? In turnovers? Let's see here. See, you got to remember something here. Fair enough. Mahomes, Mayfield, Love, funny. These are all guys that have to perform from the pocket, though. There's no dual threat guy up there. It's a different style of play. That's why if you're going to start adding what Jalen does, which is running, those guys are pocket passers. Prince can't compare a pocket passer to a guy who relies on his wheels to open up passing lanes. Those guys don't do that. That's not who they are, nor do they have the talent on the roster like Hurts has. I mean, once again, I'm asking the question. See if you can answer it. Has Kellen Moore made Jalen Hurts a better pocket passer? This is why you're paying $51 million for 2 wide receivers. Has he made him a better passer? Let's take a look at Jalen where he is now in the 8 weeks of football. Jalen right now is 20th in passing. Let's see where he ranks in completion percentage. He's 6th. It's great. Touchdown passes. He's 16th. Interceptions. He's 18th. Let's look at QBR. Let's look at quarterback rating. Hurts is 9th, 98.2. Great. Absolutely. That's good. That's where you want to be, above 95. Only losers use stats to compare quarterbacks to Mahomes. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing on the planet. It's like trying to make your guy sound like you're in Mahomes' world, and you're not. You're just not. You're nowhere in the room with that. Here's the answer. It's still too early to tell. Okay? Particularly after the improvement he showed in the Bengal game. Slager, okay? But Slager, isn't that what I said yesterday? I said, nice step. Nice foundation. No. See what Forte doesn't get. This is the not, and I'm not saying Forte. I'm not saying you on this one. If the Philadelphia Eagles use analytics, which are stats, to put a game plan together, don't you think trends on what a guy's doing on a season also matters? So when people come in here and say, stats don't matter when you bring them up, you put game plans together on numbers. The analytics department is one of the most important parts of the entire coaching staff for the Eagles. So you can't have it one way or the other. They use them, and they use them for trends. Get this. Here's something to think about when people come in here and just talk about, by the way, and just talk about winning versus if a kid's getting better or not. You can win because of your roster and lack of shitty coaching. You guys said that all last year. They won because of the roster and in spite of the shitty coaching. You can win if you have a shitty quarterback. Hurts is good enough to squeak out one Super Bowl before it's all said and done. I'm hoping he doesn't end up like McNabb and get there, but doesn't get back to the game like he did, like McNabb did. He went to the game and never got an opportunity to get back to the game. Sure. Well, he's not looking like the second half. That's a great take. JAKIB, that's a great take. Okay? So that's a great take. Seals Barkley himself said in an interview with the Pivot podcast that he said, fuck analytics. We're getting rid of old cryptid analytics style. And that's seemingly what happened at the bye. Dude, they had an epiphany, and it was because of Saquon Barkley. Remember what I told you guys? Barkley has forced their hand. Barkley has forced their hand in a style of play that they didn't want to go to. But because that guy's having the second best year to Derrick Henry, and in some aspects, we'll see how it ends up, he may have a better year than Derrick Henry because of the people he has around him. You have to use that guy. Hey, you can't just take that Ferrari out when it's not raining. Saquon Barkley he's a weapon. I'll tell you this, man, you can rank it. AJ's probably number one, but Saquon Barkley's the second most important player in that huddle. By the way, all super chats go to the top. Please hit the like button. Seals, you missed my point. I was trying to show you that the overall league is struggling right now. That's why I asked who's in the top 5. I've got my quarterbacks here. Prince. Seems that the defenses have had a pretty good year this year. I agree with that, Prince. Scoring's down. Scoring's down. It's a very good observation about the league. Scoring's down this year. Seals, What would be your reaction if Hurts tapped out of a game? He would never. That's not that guy. That's not that guy. That's one thing I would never have to worry about with Jalen Hurts. Hurts is not tapping out of shit. This guy put a different shoe on to get his ass back out there. Shit, because of probably his sense of style, Anthony Richardson probably would say, I can't go back in until you get two shoes that look alike, instead of just getting out there. Jalen Hurts would have went out there in his bare feet if he could have. There's no way. I've never seen that in my years playing ball, in my years covering ball, where I saw a guy just go like this. Can you get someone in there? I'm tired. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. And if you want the fastest way to lose a locker room on how I look at you as not being tough or mentally aware where you are or who you are, that's how you do it. I'd like this. I'm not going into battle with that guy. I'm not putting my ass on the line for that guy. Did you see what that center did to that guy who twisted the ankle of Justin Herbert? Do you see what that center did? Do you think a center right now on the Indianapolis Colts would defend Anthony Richardson after that masquerade of a player and a quarterback that he had this last weekend against the Texans? And he was in that ball game. He tapped out. I think they're a better team without him. They should start Joe Flacco the rest of the way. Jalen Hurts is not tapping out. So, Barrett, toughness, leadership, all of that, I'm not questioning that with the kid. I think he's weird in some of his answers, but I've never seen anything like that, what I saw with Anthony Richardson. My fellow Eagle fans, what is wrong with developing? Mahomes said he could not read defenses for a while. We went differently. It's okay. Correct. Shit, Michael Vick got to Andy Reid. Didn't he say this too, Sox? I wish I had Andy Reid earlier in my career because I didn't know how to read a defense until I got to Philly. Can you imagine that? How electric that player was in Atlanta, Michael Vick, and he didn't know how to read a defense. Michael Vick. They didn't know how to read a defense until Andy Reid. So why is it so difficult for all of you to accept that this guy's still in the process? You paid him too soon. Okay, you have to deal with that. I think they paid Kyler Murray too soon. Murray's starting to look like he's getting it. Kyler Murray's having a hell of a year right now. Okay? And he's lifting a shitty-ass organization out of the gutter again. Dude, you're not moving off of Kyler Murray. You know, at the beginning of the year, you probably had some conversations of moving off of Kyler Murray at the end of the year. Not now, you're not. There'd be 30 teams line up for him. Okay? It's because Richardson is a Gator. Probably say, I didn't say it. Okay, I didn't say it. He's a Gator. Okay, probably so. Bob, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, man. All you guys, please hit the like button here. Yeah, Kim, I like Kyler Murray too. I'm with you here, man. I like Kyler Murray. Kellen has improved Jalen. It's not in major ways, but he's getting better at the blitz. He is getting better at the blitz. His pocket passer because of Kellen, I cannot say that. No, he's not there yet. He's not there as a pocket passer. Sunday was a nice step. You know, hey, I'm going to tell you guys one more time. When Jalen Hurts is a threat like that, when he runs the ball, his passing game is going to be so much easier like it was in 22. You know what? I'm going to make a comment. Somebody do me a favor. Tell me how many yards Jalen Hurts passed for in the 22 season. How many yards did he pass for? What was it, like 3,700? It was like 3,700, right? How come it felt like 5,000 yards? It just felt like 5,000 yards. You know why? He was so incredible on third down. You know, if you go back, I wonder if you can go back to that stat. The Eagles must have been number one in the NFL in third down with a quarterback that didn't throw for 3,800 yards. How's that possible? I mean, it felt like it was $5,000 when he had that 3701. He had more yards last year, and it didn't feel the same. I wonder what the Eagles were on third down in 2022, because it has to be in the top 5. Because every time they were in third down, that dude got it, and it was because of his wheels and his arm. Dude, the one thing, when you're like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, you don't have that ability to be able to take off running. How many times did Tom Brady say he wishes he had the ability to take off running? Tush push helps too, absolutely. He did. It seemed natural. I like that. Get this. Here's what Force says. Down here, the Eagles were 4th and third down. What are they right now? The Eagles are 23rd. You're 23rd in third down. And 22, you are 4th. Which means this. Every single series in 22, you were 3rd and short. You were 3rd and short. That's why when you guys are going like this, Sills, the offense, I mean, dude, on third down, you're not very good. Now, can that trend to get better because of the ability of running and because of the change of identity? Get this. Sills, Eagles were 3rd in 2022 at 47%, KC 48. So they were 3rd. You're 23rd now. That's right, Forrest, regardless of the schedule. So I think he has made the game more simple for Hurts. Last week, Hurts read through his progressions. He did cross the middle too and made several great throws. He did. I did. He did. He turned his head. He did. That was the first complete game I've seen him play, both from the pocket and also out in the perimeter when he was running, since 2022. Okay, Keith. So in 2022, Jalen Hurts had an offense that he ran, that his offense was 3rd in third down conversions. That's impressive. And get this, you know those 3,700 yards passing he had? You want to know why there was only 3,700? You only have to have short passes. You're 3rd and short. 3rd and 5, or 3rd and 1, I mean. 5-yard pass, first down, or a run. You can't defend that. The number one statistic you can't defend with an offense is if you're efficient on third down. If you're in the top 3 in third downs, you can't stop them. That means you're running. I'd like to know what the Eagles are over the last 3 weeks on third down. I still think that number sucks because last week, prior to the Bengal game, I think they sucked against the Giants, but they didn't really need it because they were winning 1st and 2nd down. So that's kind of a misnomer. You probably want to go back to the Cleveland game and take a look at what they have been. They have not been good on third down all year. Even coming out of the bye, they have not been good on third down. That number's got to improve. And it will improve with Hurts' ability to run the ball. Okay? Yeah, and again, I think this number here, Marcus, I think that's a little bit misleading, Marcus, because they dominated them on 1st and 2nd down. Against a good football team, that number will haunt them, but against the Giants, you could have rolled a bag of footballs out against the Giants and they would have dominated them. Seals, did McNabb get questioned by the media and anyone as much as Hurts does at this point of his career? Why would you question Donovan McNabb when he goes to 5 straight NFC championship games? What are you questioning? What would you question? McNabb won a hell of a lot more than Hurts earlier in his career. It's not a fair comparison. And he had Andy Reid. And he had Jim Johnson on the other side. Remember that. This is almost the same dynamic they see in Kansas City now, just with not as great a quarterback with Mahomes. Okay? You had Andy Reid and you had Jim Johnson, D coordinator. Now he's masquerading as Steve Spagnuolo in Kansas City. Isn't it ironic that Andy Reid has the best defensive coordinator, or one of the top 3 coordinators on defense everywhere he's been? Philly, and now in Kansas City. It's been a priority of his. Wide receivers are no priority. Tight ends are. Defensive coordinators are. And having a quarterback that is efficient enough to run his offense. That's what he needs to win. And that's how he wins. He keeps it simple. Okay? He keeps it simple. And Reyes, I'm a victim of this as well. I can't stand McNabb's personality, too. He acts like a piece of shit many times. However, as a player, that guy put him around the rim 5 straight NFC championship games. He won a ton of ball games, superior to Dak Prescott, Tony Romo. Any quarterback that Dallas Cowboys have had since Troy Aikman, McNabb's better. McNabb, you can make the comment, McNabb, as a pure talent, probably better than Aikman. Hey, if I get on Jalen Hurts for having all that offense around him, I'll say this about Aikman. You think he benefit from having the top offensive line in the league? The greatest running back in the history of the sport, arguably? And one of the top 3 third-down possession wide receivers in pro football history in Michael Irvin. And you had a 25-year-old defense on the other side. And you think that benefited Aikman? Okay? You think that benefited him? Please hit the like button. Sills, Eagles are 37% on third downs in 2024. And last 3 games are 31. I think it's because of the opponents too, man, because they're so bad on defense. You got another one coming up here too. Hey, this is my problem with the defense. I think the defense is starting to cannibalize these awful offenses that they're playing. And it's starting to misguide us a little bit in the numbers on defense and if they're getting better. The only reason that I'm going to push back on myself for that comment is because of how much youth you have. I don't care who you're playing. You're playing a pro quarterback, and that's Quinyon Mitchell's 9th game coming up as an NFL player. I don't really care about that. I care if it's Darius Slay and James Bradbury, Avonte Maddox, and those guys are still effing up. I'm going to care there with that because we said this at the beginning of the year. Play the young guys. 1-3 versus the Giants on third down still. I know that, but they won first and second down. What about Big Hugh Douglas? Are you a fan? Yeah, I am. But what I will always know about Hugh never wanted to play the run. So what did Jim Johnson do? He created a position for him to have him rush just purely as a passer. And that was the brilliance of Jim Johnson. It turned him into an Eagle Hall of Famer. Hugh Douglas was a really great player. Absolutely. Great player. Best pass rusher from the backer position or edge, not counting Reggie. I would still say Clyde's better. Trent Cole's better. Cole's better. I think Trent Cole's a better player than Hugh Douglas. Overall, play the run, rush the passer. As an edge, I mean, Clyde Simmons was spectacular. Okay. T.O. lasted 1 season. Chris, overall, I thought Trent was a better tackler. I never thought Hugh was. I think he was a better pass rusher. And he had longevity. Yeah, Hugh has, dude. I'm not saying Trent's a better pass rusher than Hugh. Hugh had 80 sacks. I don't even really know what Trent Cole's and Jim Johnson created that alignment for him, okay, and created that alignment for him when he was a player and created that position because everyone said. Now, Trent's got 90.5 sacks. So you can say whatever you want about him, but he finished his last 2 seasons. Now, I don't know about you, but Trent Cole had 12.5 sacks, 12.5 sacks, 10 sacks, 10 sacks, 11 sacks, 8 sacks, 8 sacks, 7 sacks. I mean, and plus you look at the tackles, 70 tackles, 65 tackles, 77 tackles, 59 tackles, all from an edge rusher. I mean, he's a good football player and very underrated. Trent Cole's an underrated football player. Okay? Very underrated. And it's not true. I saw somebody in there say that. I saw somebody say that. No way. No way. Was never known for that. Here. Tackles 35, 39, 27, 33. Nowhere in the room. Nowhere in the room. Cole was a more complete player. Facts. And production speaks to it. Okay? Hugh's the bigger name because he's on radio and because the Eagles don't like his politics. And guys like Paul Domowitz don't like his politics. But he had a better career in Philly. He had a better overall career. More tackles, more sacks, more tackles for loss. Production speaks. It's a production league. You're not graded on a bell curve. Okay? You're not. More tackles, more sacks, more TFLs, more fumble recoveries. I mean, how can you say somebody else is better when they almost had the same amount of length and career time and the other guy has more numbers? And he played on the same team and they overlapped one another. How can you say that? No, Guinness Stout. I don't hate Paul Domowitz. He hates me. I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know why. And then he wanted to try to extort JAKIB by having them pay him so he can go on the air and trash me or something. I don't know. I mean, people that come on my program, Angelo and everybody, they don't ask for money. They do it because they enjoy talking to you guys, not because they want to get paid for it. All the people that come on, Jimmy Johnson, all these guys, they come on because they want to talk to you guys. They don't ask for money. Tony Dungy doesn't ask for money. Gary Cobb doesn't ask for money. Gary Cobb has come on every single Monday, pretty much, in 4 years. Right, Xander? 4 years. Works at Fox 29. He's never asked me for a cent. Never. Now, he charges other people, but he never charges a cent. He wants to talk to you guys. He's built an audience up with you. That's what it's about. Hey, right. M. Reyes comes here for free every day. And sometimes you guys donate. I'm thankful. Yeah, I'm thankful. Why does Domowitz think he is that he should get paid for an appearance? You'll have to ask him. We were like this. See you. You don't want to come on? You don't have to come on. This is not like the military draft. when we ask you to come on, it's not a military draft. So does he hate you because of your winning personality and cool Italian demeanor? Or is it the truth you speak? I think it's a little of everything you just said, Brian. Steve, why wouldn't I be honest with you when you come here every day for us? Hey, I may give you shit or everyone else shit, or what have you. But at the end of the day, I respect the hell you're here. Hey, man, am I rough around the edges? Yes. And sometimes am I difficult to deal with? Yes. All of that is true. All of that is true. Never going to deny it. One thing will always be true. You know what that is? We appreciate you being here. Sills on First Take would be fire. RC3, you think ESPN, who's having a problem right now with Pat McAfee, could you imagine me and McAfee doing a show on ESPN? Can you imagine that? Holy cow. That show would last a day, maybe. Okay, maybe. Trent Cole had 85 sacks for the Eagles. Hugh had 56 for the Eagles. Big difference, but I still love Hugh. Yeah, no, hey, Kenneth. Hey, watch this. Sills, you take Trent Cole, and I'll take Hugh. Sure. I'm not going to lose, am I? Okay, right? Absolutely. You're not. I'm just saying Trent was a really underrated football player. And because, hey, by the way, I guarantee you Trent Cole is not in the Eagle Hall of Fame. Or is he? Maybe I'm wrong. Is Trent Cole in the Eagle Hall of Fame? Guy with 90 sacks? Or 80 sacks with the Eagles? Where do you think he ranks in Eagle history with sacks? Third? Sills, we are here because you're rough. You're rough on the Eagles. Okay, thank you, Abe. Where does Trent Cole? Where does Trent Cole rank in Eagles? He went into the Hall of Fame at 22. The Eagle Hall of Fame at 22. Good. Okay. He's third or fourth. Trent Cole went into the Eagle Hall of Fame. Great. Because I didn't know that. Okay. Hey, look at this. Shannon, Stephen A. and Sills would be something to see. They couldn't handle that. Okay. They couldn't handle that. But by the way, we rarely do anything else, so this is why we're here all the time. Hey, Kenneth, that's great that Hugh and Trent went in at the same time. Two really great players, man. Hey, by the way, when I said that Trent was better than Hugh or was more productive than Hugh, that's not a slight on Hugh. It's just some guys have better opportunities. Some guys put up better stats. That's why the argument, who's the greatest running back of all time? Emmitt Smith's got the numbers. People always look at who's the greatest baseball player. Is it Henry Aaron or is it Bonds? Is it Ted Williams? You know, guys like that, Willie Mays. It's all subjective, man. Numbers can be like, again, hey, I like the way this guy rushed the passer and played and brought a presence to the game. I get it. It's no diss on Hugh. I promise you. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Where are we after the first hour in likes? I'd like to know. By the way, your super chats today, once again, just like yesterday, were fantastic. Yesterday, 8,000 people nearly live chatted the show. Absolutely insane how great that is. For us, you have to understand, I'm sorry, 160, Xander, pretty good, man. Great stuff, right? Hour number one, thank you guys very much. Let me say this to you guys. When we first started the program out, 200 views would end after the show. Now we're like, if you put all the things that Xander posts and puts it up there, we're like 40,000. Okay? I mean, it's great. You guys are killing it, man. I appreciate it. By the way, it's on you. Hey, I could sit here and talk to myself and be a guy talking in the forest to no one. I mean, YouTube is the forest of little trees. And you got to separate yourself somehow, right, Xander? It's a forest, and you're hoping someone's listening. That's what YouTube is. My cat can start a YouTube channel. You guys make this one great. Appreciate it. Please hit the like button here. All right. Here's my assessment on if I think Kellen Moore has made Hurts better. By the way, Randy Cross at 3:30 from CBS Sports, college and pro football, winner of 3 Super Bowls with the San Francisco 49ers. I thought it would be bumpy. He has more responsibility. He's taken more of a leadership role. He's working. He's still dependent on 2 receivers. You're starting to see Calcaterra now become an issue. The more Calcaterra becomes an issue, the less impact Dallas Goedert will be needed on this football team. And by the way, if I were Kellen Moore and I were preparing Jalen Hurts to be under center when Dallas Goedert gets back, I just might run 2 tight end set, get that ridiculous third wide receiver off the field, and go 2 wide outs, 2 tight end set, and run the ball with Barkley, because then who are you defending on the edges here with Calcaterra and also with Goddard? Can you imagine? You'd look like something that they had up in New England when you had Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski up there. You imagine 2 tight end set threatening the middle of the field and what that would mean for one-on-one. Do you know why you're seeing more one-on-one covering of AJ and Devontae? Barkley. You're seeing more one-on-one. I couldn't believe how many times the Bengals were in one-on-one with A.J. Brown. I'm like, you're crazy. But they feared Barkley so much and Jalen Hurts so much because of the running that it created one-on-one. I mean, the thing that stunned me the most, Anarumo, I like Lou Anarumo. I like him a lot. But I couldn't believe how many single coverage packages they threw at AJ. I mean, he was constantly one-on-one, and so was Devontae. And I'm like, man, Barkley and Hurts must be really scaring the defense and their running ability, because that's how you loosen that up like that. That's 22, man. That's 22. Absolutely. So again, just to finish it up, gotten better at the blitz. It just seems that, to me, since the bye, they made a cognizant effort, put them more under center. They're going to the tight end more. Dude, the tight end puts about 35 to 55 yards up a game now. I mean, that guy is covered for the third wideout where you get nothing. I don't even know why they roll out Jahan Dotson out there. It makes no sense. He's a non-factor. He is a non-factor in that game. You're wasting money giving him game checks when it comes to activating him and having him in a starting role in there. I'd rather give it to the 5th rounder or 6th rounder, whatever Calcaterra was. I'd rather give it to him. By the way, what round did Grant Calcaterra, what round did he go? Because he is playing really great ball. Calcaterra and Hurts were together at OU. Yeah, I know. I think he's a California kid. Grant Calcaterra, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a California kid. So wait a minute here. Calcaterra was what? A 6th rounder? Is that true? A 6th or 7th rounder? 6th rounder? Oh, man, if you put that guy in the open market right now, you'd get a 3 for him. 3 or 4. 3, 4, 5 in there. 3, 4, 5. Especially if he ends up the year continuing to be an impact player like he's a really good player. Tight ends are so essential in today's NFL because they mismatch the number one lack of talent position in the NFL. That's the linebacker position. Okay? Absolutely, man. Hey, that is a find. Okay? Get this. Here's like completely one of the stupidest takes. The guy's played C- football or C football all year, but he had a game. So this guy says he proved that he's not a scrub. What a total shitty take. That's not how you get considered to be an elite player off of 4 quarters and 3.5 hours of football when you've played in 8 weeks C football. That's a dumb take. It's a dumb take. The one thing that you can say about Hurts' season this year has been that he's been inconsistent. And you're starting to see signs of more consistency over the last 3. I mean, 35 attempts in the last 2 weeks in the passing game is nothing to sneeze at, but they're effective in what they're doing like they were in 22. He doesn't have to throw a ton of passes if you're playing that style of football. He doesn't. He didn't in 22. Like I said, that year in 22, that 37-01 felt like 5,000 passing yards. That's what it felt like. Yeah. You saw 20. Yeah, some of you are saying in there you saw 22. Yeah, that's what you saw on Sunday. Nobody call Hurts a scrub. It's just hyperbole. It's all good. Not to mention they have not played anyone with a winning record. Everyone making it like the Bengals are the Ravens or Chiefs. And, I get it. Again, it's true. They haven't played anybody except, the Packers have a winning record. And Atlanta has a winning record. You're talking about they beat Green Bay. Green Bay's playing really great football right now. Okay? Let's see here. Oh, absolutely. Well, Abe, I'll give you a great insight. When we did a hit with Merrill Reese once, he was in Nick Sirianni's office. And Nick was on the other side watching the show. While Merrill was doing it, he was in Sirianni's office, listening to the show. That's a fact. That happened. Seals, Greg Calcaterra is a 6th-round pick and 3rd year in the season. Okay, his 3rd season, he's picking it up, man. He is. Merrill couldn't do it today. We asked him. Saints had a winning record. That doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So to close it up, hit the like button. Thank you. Let's see how it continues. Let's see how this continues over these next 8 quarters. I'll tell you in 8 quarters where I'm at with them. Right now, nothing's changed because I have to see it for a longer period of time. Now, the thing that I am liking is I'm not seeing turnovers. And that's because I think they've scaled back the passing game because of Barkley. The reason you're getting one-on-ones with Devontae and AJ is not because of Jalen Hurts' passing. He's 20th in passing yards. You're getting it because of the running of Barkley and Hurts now. Seals, do you see the Cowboys trading Micah Parsons? Jason, my question would come down to Dallas. You paid that guy $60 million. For what? For lesser results? If you're Jerry Jones, you just paid $36 million for CeeDee Lamb and $60 million. You paid $100 million in 2 players. And that's what you got? You got $100 million in that. Then you're going to go another $35 million. And you're going to go $120 to $130 million in 3 players. Where are you going? Where are you going with that? You're going nowhere. Think of Kansas City. Look at one more time. Kansas City and New England. They got the quarterback right. They never spent a nickel on any players offensively except for Gronk and Brady in the O-line. Same thing in Kansas City. Travis Kelce, quarterback, and the O-line. They don't spend money on wideouts. They just picked up DeAndre Hopkins for a 6th-rounder. They're not paying him anything. It's a prorated contract now moving forward. I mean, Kansas City spends no money because they got the quarterback right. Places like San Francisco and Philly, not sure they got the quarterback right. That's why they spend a ton of money putting those players around him. It's the same thing. They're putting talent around Purdy, putting talent around Hurts. They're not sure what they got. Yeah. Kansas City takes is all Dan has. You see what this dick would like you to be compared to? The Jets. And you'll have to excuse this asshole because he doesn't really realize. Didn't Andy Reid set up all the things that you have in Philly? That he did in Kansas City? Isn't it the same thing? Isn't it? Aren't the things you're doing now in Philly the things Andy did? Isn't it? So when he says that's all Sileo has is Kansas City, well, I'm going by the guy how you run your organization. Right? What's he talking about? And I'm going to compare you to the best. Now, if you want me to compare you to Carolina, I can. That's who Jay Brown wants you to be compared to. Hey, we're better in Carolina. Okay. Way to shoot high there, kid. Way to shoot high there. Andy Reid did not get a Stoutland. Another lie. Chip Kelly did. Another lie. Kid, I don't know if you've ever been a fan of your team, but you don't know dick about it. Hit the like button. Holy shit. You may want to read a book on the Eagles. Ray Didinger, I hear, has a really great book on Eagle history. You might want to read one there, kid. Sills, one thing this young defense is showing us is that we've been missing for the last few years is the hunger to play hard and get to the ball. I agree completely with that. Absolutely. I could completely agree with that. You're seeing more hats around the football because of youth and them wanting to get there. Absolutely. That's all right, man. Hey, Jay Brown is one of my special needs kids. It's okay. He's one of my special needs guys. Sorry, kid. All right. It's all right. We got a few in here, man. Please hit the like button. We appreciate all you guys. Even J-Bone. We appreciate that guy coming aboard here. Thank you very much. He's got the little helmet, with the big mouthpiece. Jay Brown walks around in his house with a mouthpiece just in case he falls, You never know. Yeah. Sit down, Jay. He's the kid you got to go like this to. J-Bone, take your fingers out of your mouth. Sit down, kid. Put your fingers out of your mouth. Sit down. Sit on your stool. Take your sippy cup and go over to the little kiddies table. J-Bone, come on, man. Sit down at the kiddie table. Here's your sippy cup. Oh, and here's a map on how you can get to a library, how you could read about the history of your Eagles. Boom. Big Cells, how you doing? All right. Jacksonville, 2024. Hit the like button, guys. We appreciate you being here. By the way, Randy Cross will join us at the bottom of the hour. Xander's going to join us at 4:30. Jay Brown's got a sippy cup. The one with the mouthpiece on it? Got Eagles on it. Sits in a little high chair, He's got knee pads on in case he falls. He's got elbow pads on, too. Phil's just a jerk. Phil's talking shit on Hurts again? Yeah, he's got a helmet, too, when he goes out with his cousin to the mailbox in case he falls. And he's got a bib. Okay. Hey, I could use one too, so whatever. Jacksonville, 2024. Will this game be a difficult? Give me some scores here first. He's got a hamster wheel. Oh, man. 40-13. All right. 52-3. I can always count on M. Reyes to drop a 50 burger there for you. Eagles 30, Jacksonville 10. 40-13. Okay, we got that. 31-14 says Twiz. Daz 100-0. Thinks he's playing rugby. 24-10. All right. Let's take a look at the Jags. An overview of the Jags here before we get Randy Cross on. Seals, could you see the Jags firing Doug if Eagles blow them out? Yeah, unfortunately. 28-14 says Brian. All right. So here's who the Jags are so far after 8 weeks of football. They're 16th in total offense, 325. Eagles are 9th. Passing. The Jags are 19th, 2016. The Eagles are 22nd. Passing. Advantage, Jags. Rushing. Middle of the pack for the Jags, 124. Probably one of your better running teams that you're going to play in the last month, the Jaguars. Their league average, 125 yards a game. That could be something to keep an eye on. Eagles are second, 166.7 next to the Ravens. Scoring, they're 21st. The Eagles are 17th. Kind of in the same room. 22-3 for Philly. 21 points for the Jags. Okay, kind of in the room. Red zone, both are the same. Jags are 24th. Eagles are 23rd. Third down. Jacksonville's 24th. The Eagles are 23rd. I mean, the offenses look pretty much the same except for the rushing. I might be careful on this because the offense does a lot of the same things that you're doing. I mean, where's your advantage? Rushing. The only advantage you have in this game is rushing the ball offensively. Now, wait a minute. I'm not done. There's two sides of this. Again, look, this is 8 weeks of football, and you haven't really beaten a winning team outside of what? Green Bay. Make it sound like you've beaten a first-place schedule. You haven't. Total offense, Jags are 16th. You're 9th. Great. That's because of the running, though. That's because of the rushing. Eagles will absolutely throttle the Jaguars, destroy them. That Z-bone. Xander's making it sound like they have like some massive advantage over you on offense. They don't, except for running. Their passing game's the same. Their scoring is the same. Third down conversion's the same. Red zone's the same. Here's the difference. Defense. Jags are 29th. They give up 382 yards. The Eagles are 7th. Passing. They give up 31. They're 31st. They give up 231 yards in the air. Eagles are 10th. Rushing. They do a nice job here. They're 9th in stopping a run. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, one of the things they do well is stop the run? Okay. Jags are down their top three wideouts and NTN possibly. Whew. Wow, that kill. So wait a minute. The one thing you do well, they do well. They stop the run. They're 9th. And what are you? You're 8th. Okay. You give up 107. They average 124. Probably still going to get theirs. Interesting ball game here a little bit. Jalen, they're going to throw the ball in this game. They're going to throw the ball. Scoring, Jags are 29th. Eagles are 7th. Red zone, 28th. Terrible. Eagles are 6th. This is defense. Third down, they're 25th. 43% of the time, teams are converting on third down. The Eagles are 19th. Oh, okay. So, what do you got? What was the scores again you think this is going to be? By the way, what's the number? What's the point spread in this game? Randy Cross is going to join us in a couple minutes here. I think it's only going to be by telephone because he's in a studio with CBS. 34-17. It's 6.5. Nah, that thing's got to climb to 7 for me to jump on that. 28-3. Okay, 28-3. Yeah, but they actually have a quarterback in Jacksonville. Big Sills and Z-Bone sounds like a tag team wrestling group. I like it. We have an actual pass threat, unlike them. Eagles will run crazy. Trevor Lawrence is having a better season passing the ball than your guy. How's that possible? As much as you don't like what Trevor's doing, their issues are mostly on defense here. Daniel Jones was ranked higher passing. I mean, Jalen, you guys in passing, you're 22nd. Don't make it sound like you're throwing the ball through the yard, all over the yard. Come on. Hey, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Trevor Lawrence, what he's doing right now, and where he's going right now this year. And I know everyone right now is saying that, he's not having a great year. Well, currently right now, he's on pace for 3,900 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 picks, and a 94 quarterback rating, and 63% completion percentage. So he's on pace for more yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions, and a higher quarterback rating than Jalen. And you guys are trying to tell me he's having a better year. Okay. That's not what the first 8 weeks are saying. I mean, I'm just telling you what they've done. You got to go with what they've done, don't you? You can't just go off the Bengal game. Hey, by the way, I'll say something to you about the Eagles. This is the first time in a year that I probably said this, that team's winning because of roster and not coaching. I think you're seeing some coaching going on now, and they're winning because of some of the coaching that's going on. Last year, I thought they won because of the roster. I thought they won prior to the bye week because of roster and not coaching. Now I'm starting to see coaching take effect. Something that you didn't have take effect at all last year. And it was part of the implosion. Okay? I mean, you're starting to see a little bit of that. Sills, who's better, Burrow or Lawrence? Joe Burrow. It's not a debate. So if the Eagles are looking for culture, they should follow Barkley's lead, punishing, running, smashing defenders. I like his game. Seals, he's talking about the threat of A.J. Brown and Smitty in the passing game will open up Saquon. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going to ask Randy Cross what he thinks of Jalen Hurts, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I want to get his opinion on what he thinks of him. Defensive adjustments. Fangio has only allowed an average of 8 points in the second half. There's no doubt it's taking effect. It's funny, isn't it? Vic has had a slow progression of getting the team better. Remember what he said at the golf tournament in the offseason when he was on the tee box? And I'll let you know where we are week 12, somewhere in there, week 10. I'll let you know then. That's kind of what he's on track for. Like I said, these next couple games coming up, especially the Jags game, because it could be some type of small trap game as you get into that nice stretch run of teams you're going to have to play and all them quarterbacks and good coaches that you're going to have to take on. I'll tell you what, man, you got a pretty good football game coming up against Washington. Dan Quinn owns a Super Bowl ring. Dan Quinn's taking the team to a Super Bowl as a head coach. Dan Quinn has the first place lead right now in the NFC East, as I predicted. You also have Cliff Kingsbury running the offense with Brian Johnson. You don't think there's going to be some ass that wants to be paid back in that game? I think so. I can't wait for that Washington game. Hey, if I'm the national TV guys, I want to put that game in a prime spot too. Because again, nobody in Philly likes the owner of the Commanders. Well, I don't think he should. Again, that's just my opinion. But I wonder if Josh Harris will even show his face in Philly for that game. If I were him, I wouldn't. You're going to sit in the owner's box for Washington and Philly at Lincoln Financial? That might not look good. Who are you rooting for? So you're going to have Commander gear on and you're going to try to get an arena down in Chinatown? Okay, yeah, all right, that works. I'd be like this. Get out of here. I'd boo that guy out of the building. I'd boo that guy out of the bed. Throwing batteries at Michael Irvin? I would throw bricks at that guy. Here are the bricks you can use to build your new arena. I would take a brick down there, and I would put it out front of the Redskins Commanders locker if I were an Eagle guy and go, here's what we're going to donate for you to build your arena in Chinatown. Here's a brick. Here. And just bring them bricks and go, here, this is what we're going to give you because we're not going to give you public funding for it. Just bring a brick. Put it out front of the Commander's locker room. Here, Josh, give this to Josh. It's a brick. Okay. Yeah, what about the public funding? Here's your public funding. I got this out of a condemned building in downtown. And guess what I'm doing? I'm bringing the brick for you to build your arena. You don't like it? Build it in Camden. Build it in Camden. They got shitty taxes in Jersey. They can hijack you too. You got your Devils team there. Why not? You're going to walk into Lincoln Financial, root for the Commanders, and ask me to give you an arena? I can't wait for that week. I would take a dump on that guy all day long and all week long, and I will. I mean, I'm not giving you that. Dude, the death nail in that arena was when you purchased the Commanders. You really think that there's enough Sixer fans for you to build an arena down there that they're going to okay taxes? I think you're taking a little bit too much of a victory lap on the civic pride that the Philadelphia people have for their sports teams, because the number one sports team in Philly is the Eagles. Everything runs through the Eagles, dude. I'll support the Phillies. I'll support the Sixers, and I'll support all that. They're my teams. I got it. I'm not going to support a guy rooting against the Eagles. He roots against the Eagles daily. How do you support that? Hey, it's one thing for me to talk shit on you. I'm trying to get you better. It's another thing that guy actively and meaningfully roots against you, and he wants you to build him a new house downtown Chinatown. How's that? How do you connect that? How do you connect that? Explain that to me. Dude, I know you're not dumb. Far from it. Sometimes passion clouds the judgment of others. Josh Harris, rooting against you on a daily basis, wanting to beat you in a couple weeks, and then turn around going, hey, why don't you build me an arena for your Sixers team? Why don't you sell the team? Hey, get this guy. And I don't know, I'm awake. Are you just got his now his daily dose of big sills. Root against Hurts? I don't root against anybody. It's not what I do. Root against? You kidding me? He's a gold mine. Like the Joker says. What would I do without Hurts? Are you crazy? I like him being in the middle. Are you crazy? Rooting against him? Absolutely not. To who? Cover what? Tim Rattay? Or one of my other shitty quarterbacks that you've had in the past? Are you crazy? Nuts, man. Sill's an equal opportunity shit talker. Anybody could get. Hey, Johnny, thank you, because that's pretty much the truth, what I do. Okay? It's pretty much the truth. Dude, I don't get this Josh Harris guy. I don't. I do not get him. I don't get it. We're efforting our friend Randy Cross. We're probably only going to get him audio-wise. I hope we're going to get him. He's in a studio right now, and he's taping. So I just got a text here. Hopefully, we're going to be able to catch up with him. If not, it'll be Xander at 4:30. So please hit the like button. Sills, we're throwing bricks. No, don't throw bricks and car batteries at the dude. No, just take a brick down there and go, here you go, Josh. You want a brick for your new arena? Here's a brick. I found this, when a condemned building that our city hall couldn't get done with public housing and shit. So I just took a brick out of a building that has been condemned. We have many of them. And so now here you can build your arena with it. I never got these owners. They come to you for you to build them a house that they get complete control of and profit from, and all you get is a banner and good feelings. Never got, and their wealth gets expanded. I don't get it. I'm not building you shit, guy. Build it yourself. Jalen Hurts gets criticized 24/7 by the media. It does nothing but fuel him to be the best he can be. Well, that's pathetic if that's the case. You think negative criticism fuels him? Jesus Christ, I think you have to have internal motivation before you listen to some asshole like me. So I have Washington beating the Eagles for the first time around. I think they're going to split, but I think Washington and the Eagles are going to dominate the NFC East. And it's going to come down between these two, and probably the team with the best record is going to win the East. But the Eagles get their revenge game against Washington the second time around. Banyas, that probably is how it's going to play out, and record will dictate the winning of the East. Who has the most wins at the end? That's why that Chicago game, it could be the swing game for Washington. Can you imagine? You give up a Hail Mary. That might dictate who wins the NFC East. That might dictate who wins the East. That Hail Mary, if they have, remember something too, Chicago has, here, how many games has Washington won? How many games has Washington won that are from the NFC, and how many games have the Eagles won? And I'll tell you right now who has the advantage. Washington's played one more game than what Philadelphia has. But here's the NFC games. They got a division opponent win over the Giants. They've got a win over Arizona, who could be a playoff team. There's two. You've got a NFC win over Carolina and Chicago. So you have 4 NFC wins. That's what separates if you have a better conference record, because that's the next one up. See what Philly has. Green Bay, New Orleans, Giants. Okay, so right now, Washington has the advantage. They have more wins, but they've played more. They played one more game. So Washington has 4 wins in the NFC. You have 3. But again, one more game being played. So, Washington barely beat the Giants. That doesn't matter, dude. Nobody cares about that shit. That's a college comment. This is not a – nobody cares about that, how it looked. Did you get the win? Did you get the win? So wait a minute here. People are going like this. Washington's overrated. Okay. So you say Washington's overrated. Well, let's take a look and see who the Eagles have beaten. Let's take a look at this. So Green Bay's got how many wins? I believe they're 5-2. New Orleans has 2. They're 2-5. Okay. The Giants are 2-5. Cincinnati's 3-4. 3-5. You have 1 win over a winning football team. The Packers. Who are you beating? Right. How's Washington overrated when you haven't played anybody? I mean, well, no. I use this guy's metric. Now he goes, here we go. What are you talking about? I use what you said. I use what you said. Don't ever trust a dude named Joel Embiid sacrificing the 49ers or 76ers season to get Mickey Mouse medal on a puke in the side of the 7-foot, 280-pound baby. Could always count on Brian to bring it home. How you doing? Let's see here. Let's see who the command. I never said the Commanders played anybody, but don't make it sound like you have. I think that's funny. They're like this. Who the Commanders beaten? I didn't say they played anybody, beat anybody. I think you got a really good win on here, man. I do. I think you got a really good win on here. I think the Green Bay game is a really great game. But don't make it sound like you're playing. Like, I mean, how stupid can you get? Washington, let's see here. So I think that win over Arizona is a nice win. Is it as good as a Green Bay win? No. I think, well, Chicago's now 5-3. Man, that's probably it's a better win than a second win than you have. Which, I mean, yeah. So they have beaten. They're 6-2 now. All right. By the way, I don't think anybody's playing anybody great. I think Washington will struggle with Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Well, Pittsburgh and Atlanta are playoff teams. Yeah. Seals, do you believe Russell Wilson earned a starting job? I think Russell Wilson is giving Pittsburgh an opportunity to get to the AFC Championship game. Do I think they could beat Buffalo and Baltimore and them other teams? I do. Do I think they could beat Kansas City? I don't know that yet. Okay? I don't know that yet. But I'll tell you what. Russell Wilson looks good, dude. And you know what? Hey, how about Najee Harris the last 2 weeks? Actually, last 3 weeks since they put him in. This guy's averaging 108 yards a carry now behind that Pittsburgh O-line. There's two guys really that are benefiting from Russell Wilson being implemented back into that offense. It's been George Pickens, the wideout, and it's been Najee Harris. Najee Harris, man. Hey, whatever you want to say about Najee Harris, Xander, am I right? Has that guy got 4 straight 1,000-yard years? Am I right when I say that? that Najee's got 4 years in a row of like 1,000 yards, or maybe 3 years in a row of 1,000 yards. I don't give a shit what you say about that. That's impressive when Mason Rudolph is your quarterback, or Justin Fields, or some of them other bums they had like Kenny Pickett. That's pretty impressive. Najee's a good player, man. Hurts can't read a defense. Yeah. Agreed. Get this. This guy just said that Najee's slow as shit. And you just got through saying here what we said about Pittsburgh and what we said about Harris. So he just said that Najee Harris is shit, and he's slow as shit. Well, I mean, dude, Najee right now, Najee Harris is 592 yards. He has 600 yards rushing. And Najee Harris, this guy says is slow as shit. Well, here's Najee Harris's career. Dude, this guy's a really great player. And he's on pace for 1,300 yards. He's on pace for 1,300 yards and 4.5 yards a carry. It's what he's on pace for. And you're trying to tell me that guy's not good? Come on, man. Stupid comments. Sills, we play the Commanders on Thursday after Dallas game on Sunday. Not much time in between. Wow. That's a great take right there. Just because you're slow. Hey, how do you know it's not because the quarterback and they got 9 in the box and you say Najee's slow? Well, now you got a quarterback that throws the football down the field. When I watched Najee Harris run, I said the same thing about Saquon Barkley in New York. I thought he looked slow. I thought he looked beat up. You put a competent quarterback behind him, he's averaging 108 yards a carry. Sills, he ain't Barkley. No, he was in Barkley's situation. Actually, Barkley's never had 4 straight years of 1,000 yards. In his entire career, he's never had that. And Harris has done it. Harris has done it with awful quarterback play. Awful quarterback play. Look at the last since Russell Wilson has been here. Since Russell Wilson, it shows you what a quarterback can do for your wide receiver and when a quarterback is competent. 106 yards, 8 yards a carry. 102, 5 yards a carry. Against the Giants, he had 6 yards a carry, 114. I don't know what you're talking about. And then you talk about the guy's career. It's one of the most underrated careers because he has had absolute shitty quarterbacks. Get this. He's had 3 straight years of 1,000 yards, 1,200, 1,100, 1,100. Now he's going to go for 13. And he'll have 4 straight years of 1,000 yards. Barkley never did that. We're not talking about a great Pittsburgh team. Okay? I mean, Sills, Najee is consistent. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I really appreciate it, man. Absolutely. By the way, probably going to get a little bit of time here because Randy is going to be taping for CBS. So as soon as Xander gives me a go, we can go to Randy Cross. We will go to Randy Cross, and we'll get his opinion on both college and pro, and we'll get his thoughts. And let's go to him right now. We'll try to get him right now with us here. Randy Cross is going to be with us. I think we're just going to get audio with him right now. And we'll ask him a couple questions, NFL, as he gets ready to tape for college and pro football. Our good friend right now, Randy Cross, joins us from CBS Sports. How you doing, Randy? Randy, you there? Randy, you there, buddy?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing, Randy? I know you're squeezed for time right now, so what we'll do is we'll make a couple questions for you here. You got us?
Yes, I do.
All right. Randy, give me your overall impression so far of Jalen Hurts' season, in your opinion, after 8 games. He struggled up and down. Last week was pretty good. Would you consider Jalen Hurts to be an elite quarterback?
I would put him in the well. If your idea of elite is the top 10 or 12 guys in the league, then yes, he's an elite quarterback. I consider elite being the top 5 or 6, and then the next 10 or 12 are kind of the good ones, and then from there are the guys that want to be good.
Randy, when did you guys know, when you were with the Niners, that you were a Super Bowl contender? Was that something that was with you guys from the start of the season? Or do you get a sense of that as the season goes on? They're now the Eagles are sitting at 5-2 right now. Would you look at them as being one of the potential contenders to get to the Super Bowl?
Well, I would say, heck yeah, especially coming out of the NFC. I mean, the NFC is, I look at it as being pretty much up for grabs because, outside of Detroit, there's nobody that looks just dominant. So, I would say this is anybody's game. Kansas City, undefeated on the AFC side, got Buffalo right behind them. So they're kind of neck and neck. But no, NFC wise, with that record, Philly's right in it.
Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, who would be your MVP so far as we're getting closer to the midway point?
I guess I'm semi-prejudiced by that, and he had no part of it, but them losing to Cleveland late like that, and he did all he could for them to win. I think on the face of it, you got to go with Lamar. Not to belittle anything that Josh has done. I just think Lamar is he's spectacular. When he's good, he's really good. But when he's more than really good, he's like freaking all time.
I know you're squeezed for time, so we got a couple more here for you, and we'll let you go here. Brock Purdy, they're going to get McCaffrey back, it looks like, around November 5th. Do you think, because of what you just said with the NFC, that in your opinion, you think that this still is wide open for anyone to take that NFC, including maybe even the Rams, who got out to a bumpy start?
Yeah. I mean, the whole NFC West is having kind of a dull year with that many 4-4 teams. So it's anybody's deal. The Niners getting healthier would, for them, be really good, especially if McCaffrey can actually come back and be the normal McCaffrey. And probably the poster guy for all the injuries and the problems with the offense, and it's not really his fault, is Brock Purdy. You watch him play, you look at some of the passes that have been interceptions, especially 2 weeks ago. You look at the pattern and you're going, what's that receiver doing? Because he's throwing the ball where it's supposed to be, and the receiver is nowhere near the ball. So, that's those dirty times in practice, and that just all those routes and that timing that you develop. And he's got to do it now with a whole different crew of guys. That's why it made Kittle playing that well so important for them the other night.
Last question for you, Randy. I look at Georgia and I see that roster, and I'm sorry, I get Oregon. I get it. But for me, why do I sit down and I land on, and I vote in the top 25 myself, and I just still see Georgia? I mean, I think they have the best roster in the country. Now, the quarterback maybe not playing like everyone thought he was going to play at the beginning of the season, being a Heisman Trophy candidate, but there's so much talent on Georgia. If you had to pick between Georgia and Oregon, who's your top team right now?
It'd be Georgia. I mean, I love what Oregon's done at the line of scrimmage. I really can't wait to see them play Michigan this week and see if they can bring it and keep doing that, especially on the road in the Big Ten. That's going to be a tough assignment for them. But the only other team that I could see challenging, and just from the way they played last Saturday, is Texas A&M. That second half, that offense with Marcel Reed, give me a break. That offense and that football team, with the way they play defense, can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the SEC, including Georgia and including Texas.
Randy, thanks a lot, brother. I know you're filming right now, and I know you're taping. Thanks for doing this, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate it. And so does my producer, by the way. Now I can go back.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Very good. Randy Cross there at CBS. He's there at the studios, so we appreciate it. Did he say that Jalen Hurts was elite? Did he say that? See, listen, this is why I don't know what my guests are going to say. I'm going to have a con. He's not allowed back on this program. He's not allowed back on the program after that. Did he say the word elite? Did Randy Cross say that? He couldn't. I didn't hear that. Well, here's Andrew to correct it. Very good. Not really. He said he was top 10 to 12-ish. Elite, baby. I misheard him. I misunderstood him. No way. I misheard him. I didn't. Sills is going a little depth in the ear over here. I didn't hear Randy say the word elite. My guest, why in the world would Big Sills have a guest on that contradicted something that I said? What do you think? I'm WHIP? W-wipe your ass. What are you, crazy? I don't do that. You know, I got to get guys on to validate myself like those guys do at WHIPS. It used to be AM. Now it's WHIPASS. He didn't say the word elite. He said he's top 10. No, he didn't. He said top 10-ish. No, he did not. He's your guy. Look at Keith. Hey, Keith, why do you think I put dudes like you on? You think I just do that for you guys? I put hosts on that contradict me. Hey, they got an opinion too. You see, Keith, next week you're going to be involved in something that people are trying to persuade you on for whatever reason so that you have to do something when you go vote for someone. Here, this is freedom of speech. It's like Elon. You can either call him elite or not call him elite. My guest can call him elite or not call him elite. We have open dialect. You guys forgot that a little bit? That's kind of what we do here. You look at Flexen. Okay, that's more like it. He technically didn't call him that, so I'm going to land on that. Did I hear him say he's picking Lamar over Josh? I would too. I think Lamar's played better than what Josh has played so far. Top is elite. He ain't elite. He's not played elite this year. I proved it to you. Come on, man. This guy's 25th in passing yards, and you're calling him elite. Come on, Sue. Look at Sue now, man. Between Sue and Kimbo, two feisty chicks. Holy cow. I think the toughest people in here are the two chicks that comment all the time, and my aunt. Dual threat over pocket court. Never happened. Oh, I got it. Well, Lamar is the ultimate dual threat. Okay? I want to see Sills. You say, no, it's not happening. Sills, it's Kelly Green week. I know it is. If he said, if you consider top 10 elite, then okay. But I think top 5 are elite. He ain't no top 10 quarterback. He ain't him. Wait a minute. I have my top 10 list. We're going to do that one at the top. Yes. We're going to do that one at the top. That's what we're doing. Wait a minute. Do it with Big Z. All right, I'll do my top 10 teams at the top. And then I'll do my top 10 quarterbacks at the bottom. Oh, my God. I just agreed to the president of the Jalen Hurts fan club being part of my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Panders Anders going to be rolling around at the bottom of the hour at 4:30. Oh, my God. This is turning out to be. Hey, hit the like button here. By the way, I enjoyed myself yesterday. I don't know about today. My guest came on and said he's a top 10 quarterback. I'm going to have to call him and tell him, hey, you made me almost throw up in my bag. You could win a Super Bowl without being an elite quarterback, just like you could be an elite quarterback and never win one. What elite quarterback in the last 13 years has won a Super Bowl? Can you name me one? Oh, yeah, wait. Nick Foles. Dude, in the last 15 years, you can't name a quarterback that's not an elite quarterback. You can't name a quarterback. In the last 15 years. You can't. Super Bowl winners. Here, Super Bowl winners. You have to have an elite quarterback to win this game. You can't have some stiff. Okay, here. Mahomes, Stafford, Brady, Mahomes, Brady, Foles, Brady, Manning, Brady, Wilson. So since 2013, here, since 2011, we can go back. Here, wait a minute. So check it out. Let's go back to 2000. Rams, Hall of Famer, Kurt Warner. 2001, I'm assuming that that's Trent Dilfer. So keep that there. Brady in 2. Brad Johnson in 03. Brady 4, Brady 5, Roethlisberger 6, Manning 7, Eli 8. Eli's going to Hall of Fame. Roethlisberger 9, Breeze 10, Rodgers 11, Eli 12, second Super Bowl win. Flacco 13, Wilson going to Hall of Fame. Brady, Manning, Brady, Foles, Brady, Mahomes, Brady, Stafford, Mahomes. So in 20 years, 4 non-elite quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl. 4. I mean, okay. You might get lucky. Okay? You might get lucky. Yeah, but remember the quarterback they were playing against when Brad Johnson won that Super Bowl. They were playing against a journeyman in Rich Gannon. What? Wilson never threw more than 25 times in a Super Bowl. Hey, dude. And Patrick Mahomes has never played great in one. Seals, Brad Johnson was an elite. He had a good day. I never said he was elite. I said there's 4 non-elite quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in 20 years, is what I said. All right. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Xander Krause is going to join us. We're going to do our top 10 teams. Okay? Let me see here. Oh, God. We got the top 10 teams coming up, but don't forget, one of the absolute top 10 teams here on JAKIB is our friends at BetUS. If you're looking for a new sporting book, this is your place. We've teamed up with our friends at BetUS. Make sure you check out their website. Great place for you to go and bet this entire football season. And don't forget the YouTube 150. You get a sign-up bonus up to $2K. Also, your second sign-up bonus of 125%. And your third is also 125% in sign-up bonuses. 200% in sign-up bonuses in crypto as well. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service. 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save at Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Oh, God. Hey, please hit the like button here. Okay? So let me ask this question here. Hold on here. It's Hurts top 10 right now, chat. How many people believe that Jalen Hurts is a top 10 passer in the NFL? How many people believe that? Because Kellen Moore, the number one topic was, has Kellen Moore made him better? Thirteenth. He was brought here to improve his passing game. He's not definitely top 15. He's like 9 or 10. Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you think that Jalen is a better passer than Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Geno Smith? Let's start with Geno. Do you think Jalen's a better passer than Geno Smith? Do you? Here's again, remember, Kellen Moore was brought in. Carmine says equal. Okay, Carmine. So as a passer, do you truly believe that Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 4,600 yards this year? And 69% completion percentage? I don't. Let's go Baker. Baker's on pace for 4,700 passing yards and 45 touchdowns and 19 picks. Baker Mayfield is on pace right now for 45 TD passes and 46.52 at a 71% completion percentage. Baker Mayfield is going to throw for 45 TD passes this year. He stays on this pace. 4,700 yards and 71% completion percentage. I'm asking you, is this quarterback a better passer than Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith? That's a question. I'm not talking about winning and losing. Is he a better passer? Yes or no? Kellen Moore was brought in not to improve Jalen Hurts' run game, but his passing game. Not talking about going to the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what, I think Baker Mayfield's got a shot at winning his division too. They did last year. Hey, I'll tell you this. Baker Mayfield did things last year that Jalen didn't do. He actually won his division. He actually won a playoff game. He actually had a better passing season. That was last year. He did all of that. And this year he's out. And you've won one more game than him. They're 4-3. You're 5-2. And they beat you. Hey, let's not forget winning and losing. He did beat you too. And he blew you off the field. So who's having a better 24 season? Who's been playing better for a year and a half? Baker Mayfield has. That's who your guy. That's the guy you're being compared to now. Baker has more attempts. No shit. He's a better passer. It's just a question. I'm just looking at some of these numbers here, and I'm like, wow. Look at this here, man. Hey, let's go down to – let's see where I can go. I can pick any – hey, here's Jaden Daniels. He's a rookie. Jaden Daniels is on pace right now for 16 touchdowns, 4 picks, 3,700 yards, 71 quarterback completion percentage. Not bad for a rookie. That's pretty damn good. Woo! Yes, sir, baby. Stop looking at numbers and watch the games. I am. And once again, I'll go back and I'll tell you exactly who he is. This is what he's done in 8 games. Here's Jalen Hurts' report card for half the season. He's 6th in completion percentage. He is 20th in passing yards. He's 25th in taking sacks. He's 14th in success rate. Yeah. Yeah. And he got one more win than the Bucs, and he beat them. Okay. No, because he has to run, and Baker Mayfield's pretty much playing with nobodies. No, I wouldn't call Chris Godwin and Mike Evans nobodies. Now, he loses Godwin. Mike Evans is reportedly going to come back. When Jalen Hurts is playing with nobodies, he started seeing ghosts. True. So what did you say here? QBR? All right. Look. QBR, and he's got the least amount of touchdowns. He's got 7 touchdowns. Baker's got 21. Holy cow. Here you go. That's my guy. Hurts. What was Hurts' report card grade for the last 3 weeks, though? Oh, now we're going to segment. like you guys like to do and cut it up here instead of taking the body of work. That's where you got in trouble last year, 10-1. I'm not dismissing trends. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not dismissing. And if you're talking trends, Always Sunny, that's a thing. But your trend started yesterday or on Sunday. The turnover trend has been going on for 3 weeks, and I'm seeing something there. Okay? Absolutely. Okay? Let's compare interceptions a game. Hey, Clairvoy, Mayfield knocked the doors off you. He's beat the Eagles. If there's a head-to-head for home field at the end of the year, if that ever came down to it, Bucks win it because they blew you out. Jalen still thinks about where to go with the ball. Getting better. And reading defenses a little bit over the middle more. Look, it's like I said, it's starting to trend the other way. All right. I thought that was interesting. Geno Smith's on pace for 4,700 passing yards this year. Man! Damn! Look at even Lamar. If Lamar Jackson does that, all bets are off here. If he throws, get this, if Lamar Jackson throws the ball this year and he throws for 4,500 yards and 36 touchdowns and 4 picks, and this guy runs for 1,000 yards, it'll be the greatest single season I've ever seen a quarterback ever perform if he does that. That'll be the greatest season I've ever seen by a quarterback if Lamar Jackson does that. You can't throw for 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, and run for 1,000 yards. That's too much. It'd be the greatest season I've ever seen a quarterback perform. It would be just insane. And let's take a look at where, if he is on pace for the amount of rushing yards. Look what he's done too. 289, 281, 323, 348. He's at 2,000 right now. He's got 17 touchdowns and 2 picks. That's a running dual threat quarterback. Lamar is the better version of Jalen. And let's see where he is at, where his rushing is right now. Here, right now, he's got 500. He's got 500 right now rushing yards. He's got 500 rushing yards. He's averaging 62 yards a game. And he's got 9 left. He'll have 1,100 yards. Be the greatest single season of all time. Yep, I saw that. Johnson to the Ravens. Absolutely. It'll be the greatest season of quarterbacks ever had. 4,500 passing yards, 37 touchdowns with 4 picks, and 1,100 rushing yards. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Be the greatest single season that a quarterback's ever had if he does something like that. And I agree with this comment. Randall Cunningham was just as good when football was football too, Sills. Randall was ahead of his time. Randall was the then version of Patrick Mahomes. If he played today, he'd be that guy too. Randall was a great football player. Okay? Randall was a great football player. Well, he was. Oh, absolutely. Brian, what a career turnaround for Geno. Happy for the guy. Me too. He's a South Florida kid. Another guy Miami passed on. And this guy had to go to West Virginia. Is that where Geno went? Geno went to West Virginia? I think. He went to West Virginia. Was a second-round draft choice. And Miami didn't even recruit him. And he's, I think, from Fort Lauderdale or from Dade. I don't remember. But I know Lamar also. Miami passed on both those guys. Last year, they were playing against one another. I blew a shit gasket. And Miami had garbage quarterbacks since this kid, Cam Ward's come in. And they let those two guys walk out the South Florida picket fence and let them go to Louisville and let them go to West Virginia. Absolutely ridiculous. And South Florida kids, too. And now they're playing against one another in the NFL. Miami hasn't had a quarterback in 20 years. Now they do with Cam Ward. Hurts beat a lot of quarterbacks better than Baker. He never beat a quarterback in his life. He beat a defense. Randall was throwing up 50-50s to Moss, Reed, and Carter in Minnesota. Hey, yeah, well, they were great too, man. Okay, they were great. So who had more of an impact in the Bengals game, Dean or Bond? Great question. Who do you guys think? Who had more of an impact in the Bengals game? It's a great question, Abe. I think they both had an impact. Big ones. Here, what did Niners say here? Passing yards mean everything. True, Sills? In today's, well, here, Niner. Do you think the NFL today is set up for the passing game or for the run game? Let's see if you can answer it that way. You think the rules today in the NFL, the quarterback, the receivers running free, lack of contact on hitting him, do you think the NFL is set up to protect the passer, protect the receivers? Do they want high-scoring games because of betting? What do you think? Dean off the blitz? I still think Zach Bond probably little by a tick. Lamar Jackson's got to start winning playoff games. I agree. He's now the Aaron Judge of the NFL. Great in the regular season. Got to do it in the postseason. Okay? Absolutely. Randall's not better than Lamar. Randall didn't run the ball like Lamar. Then why do you keep saying Jalen Hurts lost? Because you guys keep bringing up the stat of him beating Josh Allen. That's why, senor. To retort your dumbness. That's why. That's not a benchmark for me for a quarterback. Who the guy is across the way. That's more for a coordinator. When a coordinator stops a quarterback, the coordinator in the defense of that respected side of the ball gets the credit, not the opposing quarterback who never plays free safety. And only because you dicks bring it up. Not because I do. That's not a metric of mine. Jesus criminy. Misinformation, Sills. You said last year Jalen Hurts needs to beat good quarterbacks like Mahomes and Josh Allen. He needs to beat teams like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills. So that when you're beating playoff teams with elite quarterbacks on them, people know when you get into those freaking games, you can go back and forth like you did with Joe Burrow. Absolutely. Holy cow. The football team is not centric on one guy when you have 100 guys in your huddle. Josh Allen has one dude, him. Mahomes has one dude, him. My God. I use your metrics against me, and then you say, why do you bring that up? Because you fucking do. Holy shit. Bobby, you want to know what emotional is? Trying to tell me that guy's a lead after 4 quarters of football. And dude, eat a dick. Sills, what was the reason why Kelly couldn't win a Super Bowl? Playing against elite football teams. It happens. It happens. Dude, why didn't Phil Mickelson ever become the number one player in the world? Well, Tiger Woods was there. I mean, why didn't Peyton Manning win more Super Bowls? Well, Tom Brady happened to be in the building. Beat them both last year. And here we go again. Beat them both last year. And you lost to Drew Lock and Tyrod Taylor. Congratulations, kid. And Zach Wilson. Quite a resume. You beat Mahomes and Allen, and you lost to Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, and Drew Lock. There's your metric that he uses. I use it back on him. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Before I get Big Z in here, Big Sills' top 10 NFL teams. According to Big Sills, by the way, hit the like button, please. This was strategically done. This is how I see these teams, where they are, roster they have, body of work, quarterback. This is how I see it. Number 10, from the Bay Area, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 9, from the city of brotherly love, the team that has been playing good for 3 weeks. We're in week 8, though. The Philadelphia Kelly Green this week, Eagles. Number 8. Oh, God. Is James Jones in here? From one of my favorite cities in America. From the district. From D.C. The Washington Redskins. Yes, I said it. The Redskins. / Commandos. Number 7. Might be a little low. The Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson. You may not like this one. You like Baltimore. Number 6, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sitting at 6. I think they look good with Russell Wilson quarterbacking. Number 5. This kid's breaking down all barriers, man. I got CJ Stroud at number 5. Number 4. The Green Bay Packers. Playing some great ball. The Packers at number 4. Number 3. From Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills and Bills Mafia at number 3. Number 2. From Motown, where the hits keep coming. The Detroit Lions. And I'm a big believer. You're the king until someone dethrones you. They've won 13 consecutive football games. And the quarterback's not even playing great, but he's going for a three-peat. Kansas City Chiefs. Hitting the top National Football League. There you have it. This proves the NFL is weak as shit this year. I think what he's trying to say is this proves to you how much parity's in the game this year, and he's right. Hey, always sunny. You call it suck-ass football. The league calls it parity. I think it's code. Okay? I think it's code. Because I think you're right. I think it's code. All right. Jesus, griminy here. I got to do this here now. Hold on here. Hey, 1 second here. Got to do this here. I got somebody coming up here. Hold on. Bear with me. Hang on. I got another one here. This is a two-shotter. Ow. All right. Yeah. He is the co-host of Birds 365. And we will do our top 10. I like that. We're going to start doing that on every Tuesday. Xander and I will do our top 10 quarterbacks. God, I can't wait to hear this thing. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button and give a round of applause for the co-host of Birds 365, our friend, Big Z, Andrew Krause.
What's up, Big Sills? What's up, JAKIB Nation? How's everybody doing today?
7,500 live chats yesterday. You guys killed it on a Monday coming out of the weekend. We can't thank you enough. Just absolutely insane. Really great. We appreciate you guys growing it and killing it too. So
unbelievable, man. And by the way, there's a lot of new people. It's not all the same people. I mean, I think Keith, I think you're pretty new here on JAKIB.
Yeah.
A lot of new names, a lot of new people checking in. And we appreciate each and every one of you for all the support of this channel. It means a lot to us. So thank you guys, man.
So let me ask you a couple questions before we get into our top 10 list here.
Yeah.
So do you think – oh, wait. How do you think Jalen has played in the first 8 weeks of the season?
Well, he's been up and down. I mean, you know, just because you say he was elite this week, which I clearly said yesterday and I strongly believe, doesn't mean he was elite in week 4 and 5 and 6, right? I mean, I think what we said in those weeks, just because it's not true now doesn't mean it wasn't true then, right? I mean, at week 5 and 6, I think there was a lot of questions about the quarterback. The last couple of weeks, it does look like he's more comfortable in the offense. He's getting through his reads and doing certain things a lot better. I think it's a very positive sign. And you pointed to it right after the game. It looked more like 22 than anything we've seen in a long time. And I think that's the formula for winning for this football team. And if he can do what he did these last couple of weeks, which is kind of Jalen's game. Jalen has never been a turnover guy in his career. So if he regresses back to that mean of, you know, what he normally does in turnovers, I think we're in good shape simply because of all the talent around him. But I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, he's the greatest quarterback in the league because he had a solid week versus the 21st best defense in the league. I mean, he had a good week. He had a great week. He's had 3 weeks of turnover-free football. He's had 4 weeks of interception-free football, and he's starting to piece it together in this new offense. I'm encouraged by what I've seen in the last couple of weeks, but he's got to continue. He's got to keep building on it. But overall, I thought this week versus the Bengals was the best we've seen from Jalen Hurts this year and a very positive sign for this football team.
Here's my concern, and here's what you need to keep a look at if this number ends up improving. Remember something. When people go like this about numbers, Sills, you just can't go by the numbers. Why? Your Eagles do with analytics. Shit, they put their game plan together on numbers.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I get it. You can't go all on numbers, though, and you know that. I mean,
no, you can't dismiss them because that creates trends. If a team does something on 3rd and 2 and they do it 87% of the time, that's what they're going to do 87% of the time, and that's more likely they're going to run that play.
right.
That's what these numbers are trending to.
I mean, but your top 5 passers in the league are Geno Smith,
I'm not
Baker
talking
Mayfield,
about
Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy, and Lamar. Like, you're not.
No, but I'm
that's not
saying
a
that.
perfect.
Well, wait a minute. Baker Mayfield's on pace for 45 TDs.
Baker Mayfield's having a great
4,600
season,
yards.
man. I mean, I know he threw 2
Hurts
picks.
will never do.
Yeah, I mean, he's without his two best receivers right now. He had 2 picks. I think he had 3 touchdowns this weekend as well.
Yeah.
I threw the ball 50 times. So, They don't really have a running game in Tampa Bay either. So, he's got a down bad offense. But
Hey,
I
would
will
you
say,
not
man,
agree?
I like Baker.
Would you
What's
not
that?
agree that those are two pretty damn good stories in Seattle and in Tampa, that those
Yeah.
guys turned
Yeah.
their careers
No
around?
doubt. I mean, Gino reviving his career is pretty dope. I got to give him credit for
Yeah.
that. And, Baker, I always liked Baker coming out of college. I kind of liked that he had that swag as a small dude. As a smaller guy at quarterback, I thought that would serve him well in the league. Ultimately, it didn't early, but I think as he's matured, you're starting to see some of those traits that are really working for him. And that's why he's got almost 2,200 yards through 8 games this year. Pretty impressive stuff.
So Baker Mayfield throws for 330 yards last week without Mike Evans and
Yeah, pretty.
Chris
I mean, he had 2 picks, but he had 50 attempts, didn't he?
yeah, he did.
That's too many fucking attempts, man. For anybody.
You ain't winning shit. You ain't winning shit with 50.
No, that's too many, man.
Here's a number though that I want to keep everyone and keep an eye on this, to seeing if the offense is going to get better and get closer to 22. In 2022, we found out that the Eagles were third in third down conversions. Right now, they're 23rd. And that means there's a lot of third and longs still with this offense. Now,
I'd be curious.
That has not improved. That hasn't improved either over the last 3 weeks.
Well, they've been running the ball more on first down. So they've been getting a little bit better in their third and shorter situations, which obviously will help you succeed more. But the interesting part about the Philadelphia offense that you have to take into account when you factor in third down percentages is we're kind of a 4-down team almost always. It's like 1st and 8 for us, because if you're within 2 yards, a yard and a half, they go for it. Right. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a different factor in there where most teams don't do. I mean, I think you saw a team punt on 4th and inches this week. Like the Eagles just don't do that. So, but no, I hear you. I mean, they gotta clean that up definitely a little bit.
But I'll tell you one thing that's definitely evident. When the Bengals were trying to go for it on 4th down versus the Eagles going for it on 4th down, the Bengals lost the ball game in the middle of the field. When they gave that short field up, the Eagles were able to take the touchdown down the field, and they were able to tie the game, and the game was never really the same after that. I mean,
no, you're right. I mean, I thought he made a couple bad decisions, Zach Taylor.
Yeah, that 4th and 1 out to the perimeter, that throw out there was stupid.
And early in the game, he got rid of it on 4th and 3, and he was already on the other side of midfield. I mean, and then they missed the kick. You got to go for that. That's where John always tells me how much Nick Sirianni does give the Eagles an advantage. Now, our personnel lends to being able to do it, but he is right about that. I mean, that technically gave the Eagles the lead in that game by the Bengals
and the momentum
in it by giving us the ball back, and then we took the lead after that coming out of halftime. So that was a big turning point in the game. It was really a 14-point swing there in a row. So definitely an advantage for the Birds when they're able to do that.
Please hit the like button here. Now let me go over to Jags here a little. By the way, how do you think you're going to now? Doug Peterson has showed up already at Lincoln Financial a year ago, or 2 years ago was it that he showed up?
I think it was 2, yeah.
So I mean, how many times are you going to give a guy a pat on the back for winning a Super Bowl? Or are you going to go like this? Look, like I did in the first hour. Hey, I love you, Doug, but I got to kick the shit out of you. I don't mean to be this way, but hey, Doug, we love you, man. But guess what? I'm going to kick the shit out of you, because isn't it kind of like you saying to your brother, like if you're playing against your brother in a sporting event,
yeah, right.
Hey, I love you, bro. I'm winning this bitch.
I'm going to beat your ass, yeah. No, it is. Here's what I'll say, though, about Doug, and this is going to start a lot different than it'll end. I think he will always deserve his flowers in this city as the only coach to lead us to a Super Bowl. I mean, we might talk about how great of an organization we are. This game comes down to one thing, and that's winning championships. And we got one Super Bowl in franchise history. There are fans in here who are 50 years old, 25 years older than I am, and they've seen the same amount of Super Bowls as I have. Doug Peterson deserves all the credit in the world. Now, on the flip side, I got bad news for Doug. I love you, Doug. I really do. I love you, my man. I think this could be Doug's last game coaching in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That would be
and
terrible.
It could be the Philadelphia Eagles who will put the nail in the coffin, and he'll be fired Monday morning after we destroy the Jacksonville Jaguars. We will beat them by 3-4 touchdowns.
3-4 touchdowns.
We will destroy the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And then Doug will be joining the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff.
Oh, and we'll be fucked.
4 days.
The AFC will be fucked.
Hey, okay. So since Jalen Krause said that here, let's take a look at that here because he thinks it's going to be an absolute blowout. Jalen Krause just said
You stop with these bullshit nicknames. Stop with the Pander Xander one is a joke. And by the way, you called me Z-Bone earlier. Where'd you hear that? Because I
just have these names. I'm the one that gave my daughter Dee Dee
Z-Bone has been my nickname in my family for a long time.
I have no idea what I nickname people sometimes.
My brother calls me Z-Bone and I call my brother J-Bone. So it's pretty funny that you said that. I'm like, hey, my family calls me that. Good stuff, though.
Okay, Jay.
It used to be my gamer tag when I was destroying people on Madden back in the day in Call of Duty. Z-Bone.
Come on, Jalen Krause. I got some works here for you here. We'll get to all super chats. We'll read them here in a minute. So, who do you think has the advantage in the offense going into this football game? Let's go by what they've done with 8 weeks of football so far. So, and by the way, they've had guys in and out.
Who was the advantage, Sills? Is that what you just asked me?
Let me get to it. This is 8 weeks of work. The total offense for the Jags, they're 16th. Eagles are 9th. That's majority, though, because of the run. And Jacksonville's 325, 326 yards a game. Okay. Looks like the Eagles have the advantage. They're passing. Well, Jags go into this game with a better passing offense than what the Eagles do. They're 19th, and the Eagles are 22nd. Now, get this. They're 12th in running. This will be one of the better running attacks that you've played in the last 4 weeks, actually, 124 yards a game. The Eagles are actually second, obviously, with 166 to the Ravens. So you've got an offense that could put up 325 yards in total offense here. Interesting. Scoring, you're both, one's 21st, the other one's 17th. You're averaging 22. They're averaging 21. Oh, key. Red zone.
Look at Sills trying to
Wait a second. These are trends. Hold on. You're 22nd. You're 22nd.
Fucking Jaguars.
Red zone. The Jags are 22nd. Third down efficiency. They're 24th and you're 23rd. Wow. The only advantage you have is running the ball. It ain't throwing it. Over 8 weeks, it ain't throwing it.
What do you want me to sit here and say? I think we're going to lose to the Jags because they decided to run me some numbers.
That's not what I said. I said your 8 weeks versus their 8 weeks is pretty compatible, except for running the ball.
How about the number one thing?
Now, yes, let's go to the other side of the ball here.
No. You missed the big one. How many wins do the Jacksonville Jaguars have?
I'm talking about one side. Remember something, why this is important, our conversation? How many times do you see shitty teams beat good teams in this league every week? How many times do we come away with doing this? How did that team hang in there with that team? Or how did that team?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. I mean, you're not going to discount them. They lost the close game to the Texans. They lost.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference, though. Okay, thank you, Yale. By the way, what?
They lost 47-10 to the Bills. 35-16 to the Bears.
The Bills are a good team.
Yeah.
The Eagles have beaten one team.
To the
Jags. Eagles have beaten one team.
Packers.
The Eagles have beaten one team with a winning record. I mean, don't make it sound like you're
Green Bay, I guess.
Yeah, Green Bay.
What about Atlanta? No, we lost to Atlanta.
Yeah, you lost to them. You beat one team with a winning record this year.
We lost to the Tampa Bay. No, we lost to we lost to the Bucs and we lost to
Atlanta.
And
you beat the Packers.
We beat the Saints. We beat the Packers.
You beat the Browns.
Giants, and Bengals.
All teams with losing records. Let me go on now. Hang on here, Sileo Wise, Jalen Krause.
I'm not Sileo-wise anymore.
Hold on. I know you're not. Off of 4 quarters of football, you're ready to rock and roll with this kid again, and it's kind of funny. That's right. It's week to week, and people don't get that in this league. So here's where the difference has been. But there's a little caveat in here. I want you to see if you can pick out.
Okay.
Total defense. Jags are 29th. They surrender 382 yards a game. Wow, is that terrible? The Eagles surrender 300, but that's 7th.
And since the bye week, they're first.
Oh, we're going to start cutting the pie up and serving half the.
No, I'm looking at the trend. 3-game
Okay.
trend. Derek Brooks used to say that all the
I
time.
love that.
Yeah.
That's a great comment. Passing, they're second to last. 231 yards on this team that they give up per game. They're the second.
The Jags?
Worst. The Jags.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are 10th in pass defense. But here, listen.
Okay.
The one thing that they do well, they're 8th in rushing defense. Okay? And the Eagles are 8th also with them in rushing defense. So the one thing they do well is they stop the run. So in my opinion, Xander, I think they're going to throw the ball in this game.
The Eagles are going to have to.
Yeah, I think they're going to throw the ball in.
So I see where you're going. You're going to say that the Jags are going to be able to shut down a run better than other teams.
Well, they're going to slow it down.
Right. So you're expecting the Eagles are going to have to pass to win the game, and you're questioning whether they're able to do that, right?
No.
Well, I think that's fair if you were. I'm asking you
when
genuinely
you're
if
the
that's your
second
line of
worst
logic.
defensive team in the league, that leads me to believe that you struggle all year. When you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and this Calcaterra kid who's starting to get going here, here's where I think that rushing defense starts to become a little bit where what we're seeing with 22. If Jalen Hurts and Barkley get going, running the ball, I don't care if you're 9th or 1st against the run. You're not stopping them.
Yeah, I mean, do they have any injuries on that defensive line? Because
I think they got injuries also in their offensive pass game too with their wideouts.
The wideouts, I know. Both their top
And
two
I think
wideouts are
Etienne's
out.
banged up.
Etienne's out. I mean, look, they're in. So I get their offensive stats aren't bad, but man, what are they going to do this week? I mean, seriously, this is like 2020 Doug Peterson trying to save his job throwing a fucking Travis Fulgham. It's just not. I don't see it. I just
Nate
don't see
Sudfeld.
it. Yeah, really. I just don't see it. But no, I hear. Yeah, I mean, look, there are some interesting matchups, and the NFL is a game of matchups, and that's where I think this could be interesting. Where if they are able to take away our run game, it'll put the question on Jalen of can you win the game in the air? Now, I think he's going to be able to do it, assuming that he continues to build off what he's done the last couple of weeks. But you're right, it is an interesting matchup. I mean, we'll see. Their defense is no slouch. They got some good players over there on that defensive side of the ball. So we'll see what they're able to do. But, you know, I think the team is out of confidence. I think the team is beaten down. And I don't see him being able to hang in this game in the link with our Kelly Greens on. I think Shady McCoy's jersey's getting
he's inducted into the Eagle Hall of Fame.
Eagle Hall of Fame. I don't know. It seems like a recipe for Eagles success for me this weekend. But look, it's still early. I'm not giving my prediction now, but the early feeling for me is that the Eagles get Doug Peterson fired on Sunday.
Well, that'd be wild here. All right.
You know who would love that?
Yeah, Howie.
Yeah, Howie would love that.
Howie would love that. By the way, all that being said, how do you think Nick's been the last 3 weeks?
Good, man. I mean, look, I got no problem. Here's the problem I have with
Can he save his job?
Absolutely. But here's the problem I have with and you can put me in this category too, but really everybody that talks about the game. The Eagles go through a rough patch, right? And everybody is calling for Nick Sirianni to get fired. All the problems of the Philadelphia Eagles are on Nick Sirianni. Everything is Nick Sirianni's fault. The offense is Nick's fault. This is Nick's fault. This is
Angelo.
Now, all right. Now we rattled off 3 straight wins. The team looks like they're bought in after the bye week.
I agree.
They put together three of their best weeks of football, consecutively here. Is Nick going to get any credit? I think he deserves credit. The team clearly still bought into him. So you're right. I mean, I think he deserves credit. Yes, I'm not taking anything away from Nick Sirianni. I'll call the spade when he's bad, but I'm also going to give him credit when the team succeeds because I think he deserves it.
I gave him credit, but again, I still think there's signs where he still gets in the way a little bit, like in those first scripted plays. Now, that's an opinion. Okay? I have not had that confirmed.
He also says if they win, he gets credit. Yeah, really? What have you seen more of this week?
I've never seen him. I've never
seen
him.
Credit for Jalen Hurts, credit for the offense, credit for the defense, credit for Vic Fangio, credit for Kellen Moore, or credit for Nick. And when it was all bad, Yale, It's not Kellen's fault. It's not Jalen's fault. It's not the players' fault.
Because
It's
the
Nick Sirianni's
organization,
fault.
but the organization paints it that it's Howie that gets the kudos and the roses for that, not him. You guys, everyone says Howie hires the staff, the personnel, all of that. It's why he doesn't get the roses. He doesn't get the roses. He only gets the shitballs.
Yeah, I don't get the whole is there any great organization in the history of pro football that has won on the backs of a front office?
No,
the guys wearing
absolutely
suits?
not.
It's
Absolutely
coaches
not.
and players. Why don't the Eagles understand that? It's
That's
so
why there's
it's a
so
player
few
league.
GMs
These are
in the
the
Hall of
greatest
Fame.
athletes on the planet, the greatest football players in the world. It's not guys wearing suits.
It's not.
If you want to do that, go be great on Wall Street or go do something else. Go be a business owner. There's plenty of other fields you can play in that quantify your success that way. Being an NFL GM is not that.
And by the way, for Howie to want the credit for it, I think is bullshit. I mean,
I agree.
mean, most general managers.
I think it's partly the whole.
Have you
Chip
ever
Kelly
seen Brett
fiasco.
Veach at a press conference?
No, and I think I really believe it's the Chip Kelly fiasco because look at how the owner handled it before that. Andy Reid had all the say.
Yeah,
and then
Joe Banner.
Well, Joe Banner helped, but Joe Banner didn't.
Joe Banner.
Joe Banner didn't have a role like Howie has. Joe Banner didn't have a role like Howie has today.
No,
he doesn't. He didn't.
No, he didn't. No, I get it.
Andy had all the say, and then they gave it to Chip. Now, Chip was a bad hire, but the philosophy was the coach was going to control everything. Similar to New England, similar to Kansas City, similar to all the other great organizations that win a lot of Super Bowls. You know, even the Dallas Cowboys of back in the day. You know, look what happened in Dallas since they got rid of the coach and made it a GM operation.
Absolutely. It's never been the
How's
same.
that working out for them, right? I mean, I'm not trying to criticize the front office. I think they do good things, but I think they're naive in that they believe they're responsible for the success of the team. That's where I think they fall short.
They're absolutely not. But get this. They're there to help the coach. They're not there to guide the coach. The coach is the one that has to guide the team, guide his staff, guide his players. Philly. If that doesn't represent a coach guiding a team in Philadelphia more so, hey, that is absolutely anti-Philadelphia Eagle front office. Do you think Howie Roseman and the analytics department and Julian Laurie would have called Philly in that game?
No way. I mean, I don't think most coaches would have called that, but no, it was the feel of the game. It was the trust in the players. It was the moment. And you're right. I mean, they would have never called that play. So it's a good point though, as to why, they're more important than the front office, but you need both. I'm not trying to diminish the front office either. I think you do need a good front office.
You do.
I mean, Brett Veach has done a damn good job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid would be like, yeah, I love Brett Veach, right? Now he doesn't get in the way of my football, but he gets me good players and he gets me the contracts done and he signs the players I tell him he needs to sign. So from that perspective, I think you still need a great front office.
Let me give you a Kansas City for the last 50, 60 years has been a really good football organization. They win 10, 11 games. They used to win the AFC West, but they were never really Super Bowl contenders. What changed it? Andy Reid. They got great coaching. Do you think it's ironic that Andy Reid, when he was in Philadelphia,
they also got Mahomes? I mean,
but wait, okay, well, that's also a product to him.
I agree.
Let me give you kind of the carbon copy of what went on in Philly now going on in KC. You think there's any coincidence that Andy Reid had Jim Johnson as his D coordinator and now he has Steve Spagnuolo, that he had the top flight defensive coordinators in pro football at the time? Maybe you could say Monty Kiffin in Tampa. Both those guys, they had two elite guys. Then they also had no wide receivers. They believed in tight ends. I mean, they only had one wide receiver ever there. That was Owens, and he lasted only a year. And you had a quarterback in McNabb. And for whatever it is, I hate McNabb's attitude, but I'll say this. Better than Bledsoe. He was better than Romo. He's better than
McNabb is pretty easily the greatest quarterback in Eagles history.
Absolutely. He's most accomplished postseason play.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty easily, for all the gripes that somebody might have with McNabb, and I've said some of mine.
Oh, he knocks on the door.
Yeah, he's definitely easily the greatest quarterback in Eagles history.
He
far
kept
ahead of Jalen Hurts
for 5 straight years, dude. 5 straight years.
We were.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
Mr.
tell you what,
International. You say you hate Donovan, and look, I'm not the biggest fan either. I got to be honest with you,
but
you know he was the greatest quarterback in Eagles history,
I'll
right?
tell you what, though, for a 5-year run, Jalen Hurts has a long way to go before you put a 5-year run like that guy put together, where you're in 5
No, you're
NFC,
right.
NFC
Yep, you're right.
championship games in a row. And get this, you may have tripped 4 other times. I'll give that, and I understand that. Okay, that's part of the conversation too. But I will say this: he's been more consistent in his career at the start of his career than what Hurts has been. There's
Who,
no
McNabb was?
doubting that McNabb has been.
Yeah. Well, McNabb had a lot of skill. I mean, McNabb could
tremendous skill.
McNabb could throw throw the pill, man. He could launch that ball.
Reminds me of a little bit.
And look, Crowley says it best, right? I mean, McNabb never could. He couldn't sniff a roster like Jalen Hurts has right now.
No way.
Now, I'm not criticizing Jalen for that. That's not Jalen's fault, right? I mean, what are you going to criticize him because he got a great roster? No. But you are going to point out that McNabb did a lot more with a lot less. It was a different era of football, but still did a lot more with a lot less.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Marty Morningweg, a good call there.
Yeah, Marty Morningweg, that entire coaching staff that Andy had pointed out.
High school. I think he went to my high school. Yeah, Skyler, right? Yeah, he went to St. Joe's Prep. Or did he go to LaSalle? You know, one or the other. I watched him either on our team or against. I forget it. It's all blurry to me now. But, yeah, I remember watching Skyler in high school.
Who have been the most impressive Eagles the last 3 weeks?
I think you got to go linebackers. And you got to go the quarterback. Now, Saquon's up there, but I'm almost at a point now where I expect Saquon to be a great running back, especially with this offensive line and the team around him, that the teams don't have to focus on him. So I'm almost like expecting that. Linebacker, though, Sills, we had the two. Now, whatever you want to say about PFF, I get it. You might not like them.
No.
The two highest grade linebackers, not on the team, not in the game, in the NFL this week. In the NFL, Fred Warner played all the two highest grade linebackers this week were Philadelphia Eagles, Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. I mean, we were hoping to have a middle of the pack defense with shitty linebacker play. If those linebackers can be competent, I mean, look, our defense right now is a top 10 defense. Now, will they hold that? Yeah, it's a big question. We'll see if they're able to do it. But if those dudes step up, this defense is going to be a lot better than we expected. And similar to something you said earlier in the week, I think it was yesterday, they're way ahead of schedule. That defense. With Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, I think finally you're starting to see flashes from the Georgia guys on the defensive line with Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, who's playing up to his talent right now. So I think the defense is way ahead of schedule, and that will help the offense. That's the other thing, I know it's an offensive league nowadays, but you need a great defense. I mean, you want to win Super Bowls, you need a good defense too.
I think you have to have a competent defense.
Right. But if you have a great defense, how much of an advantage does it give you?
Enormous.
Would Patrick Mahomes have won a Super Bowl last year without a great defense?
But they wouldn't be undefeated right now without that defense.
Agreed. And they're now a defensive football team.
They are.
So I think that it would serve the Eagles to continue to build that defense. And, you got to give credit to Howie. I know you've been hard on him with the draft picks on defense, and it's still early. I'm not making the proclamation that they're all panning out, but it certainly looks like he's got some players on that side of the ball right now that are really stepping up. There's some misses. Bryce Huff he's on the milk carton for life. I think
him and Davis.
What's that?
Him and Davis.
Yeah, Davis is the hard part with Davis is that he's actually doing okay as a nose, but the dude's playing 20 snaps a game. That's not a 13th overall pick. I mean, but he's doing okay as a nose, and it's helping the rest of the defense a little bit. But no, you're right. I mean, he's kind of a milk carton guy too. Him and Bryce Huff, but you got Zach Bond, Quinyon, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter. Nolan Smith finally showing something. We got to see a little bit more from him, but he is showing something. Josh Sweat's having a solid year. Like I mentioned, the linebackers are stepping up. I mean, your safety play is solid right now. Not great, but not bad. Solid. Overall, the defense has performed this year and has turned it around in the last couple of weeks. I gave you the stats yesterday on what they are since the bye week. Pretty insane what Vic Fangio has done with this defense since the bye week. So if they can keep that up, man, this team could go far because, boy, I mean, we were talking about it this morning on Birds, and you were kind of talking about it too. Is it just me, or does the NFL suck this year?
Oh, God,
it's wide open, dude.
Wide open, man. It's
wide open.
People call it suck football, but the NFL calls it parody, and that's just code for sucking football. I mean,
I know.
And you know where
it also means if you're a good team, you take advantage of it.
But you know where it's affecting? It looks like the defenses in the NFL, man, they look like they made a priority or something this year, because early scoring was down. Now you're starting to see it come back around again. I mean, you're seeing teams upset each other week in and week out here. Let me give you my three guys. Barkley has been more than I ever thought I would think he would be. I am just unbelievably shocked how good he is. I mean, that's a really good-looking football player, man. You know, I keep pointing out to everyone that, you know, sometimes you get clouded by poor quarterback play. Look at Najee Harris, and I point out to you, Najee's on pace right now for his fourth consecutive 1,000-yard year. That's something Barkley never did. Now, how about this? He was in Pittsburgh, and his quarterback was Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett, and he still got 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons, and now he's on pace for 1,300 yards because why? They got a competent quarterback back there now. Last 3 weeks, he's averaging over 5.5 carries a game, 5.5 yards a carry the last 3 games because you put a competent quarterback back there. Look what happens when you really got somebody back there, and look at the impact that Hurts. I think Hurts has impacted Barkley's play so much that Barkley must be going, man, if you just had somebody competent back there for me in New York, I would have done the same thing back there for you. I mean, it's incredible on what he's brought to the table. I won't lie to you here. You know, I didn't know what Howie's pedigree at picking corners blows. He has been terrible. But this kid, Quinyon Mitchell, you know, he's getting targeted a lot. But these are 8 football games he's played pro ball, and it looks like he fits. You know how long it takes for a rookie?
He looks better than Fitz, dude.
No. What I mean by that is, you know how many rookies get in a game and they don't look like they belong right away?
I know.
From day one, he looked like he belonged. I mean, all super chats will be read at the end.
Yeah, let me just tell you, though. I mean, look, he's played some top wide receivers. Drake London had 5 yards against him. Chris Olave had 23 yards against him. Mike Evans had 19 yards against him. Cooper had 10 yards against him. Malik Neighbors had 9 yards against him. And Jamar Chase had 16 yards against him. I mean, this young man is really playing good football. And somebody brought up, is he as good as Sauce? Well, Sauce had a great rookie year, but rookie year doesn't get you everything in the NFL. You got to keep it up. Sauce Gardner's getting burnt right now. Burnt. I mean, he's been burnt toast for the Jets. All of a sudden, the Sauce Gardner of rookie year is not there anymore, and New York's looking around. Where the hell's our star cornerback? Well, you got to keep holding up. So Sauce maybe a little.
The other side's better.
What's that?
That other corner on the other side's playing better.
Yeah, what's that guy's name again?
What's his name? Reed? What's his name? The other corner in New York? That kid's playing better football than him, man. I mean,
yeah, man, he's playing really good football. Yeah, DJ Reed.
Yeah, Reed. That kid on the other side is playing.
I'm saying I have not been impressed this year with Sauce Gardner, and I've watched like 4 or 5 Jets games. I am not impressed.
Surtain looks like he's back to being Surtain again.
Yeah, Surtain's. I mean, Bama.
I'll tell you this too. Another guy, dude. That guy plays with insane energy. And I'll tell you one thing, man. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean have brought to the Philadelphia Eagle defense. You know what it's brought? Youth. It's brought excitement. It's brought energy. Dude, last year, the last couple of years, I didn't really see a lot of energy. Now, I get it in 22 because you had all them veteran guys. Last year, you had no energy on that side of the football. Everyone hated their job. What's his name? Reddick didn't want to play for the coordinator, the second guy. But, dude, I got to tell you, those guys are bringing a lot of love right now. Hey, you could say that you think that Q is better than Arnold. Arnold's got the best football team in pro football right now.
Yeah, no, he does. But individually, I do think Q has been a lot better so far than Teron Arnold. I mean, I like Arnold.
He's also on the top guys, too. He's also on the top guys. He's also on the top guys.
No, yeah, he is. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from him, but it doesn't look like I'm not like wishing that we had him for sure. I mean, Q is a home run pick right now. So I'm really impressed.
I love how you tagged that right now. That's exactly correct. All right, Big Z.
Well, everything is right now, Sills. Haven't we? I mean, I'm a lot younger in my content career than you are. Everything when you talk NFL is right now.
But why do people have a hard time with that? Why do they really think
Well, because look, it's, at the end of the day, we step into this. So I'm not going to be mad when people get upset. Look,
No.
if you want to have a problem with something I said for a
league.
week, all right, good. Have a problem with it. I can only call it as I see it on a week-to-week basis, and I'm going to do that. Some people understand that. Some people don't understand that. But at the end of the day, we're in the Thunderdome, Sills. People are going to throw stones, and I'm all right with that.
It's a flip-flop league, man. 1 week it's this, 1 week it's that. 1 week it's this, 1 week it's that.
Hey, did Hassan Reddick play last week for the Jets or no?
He did. He had a goose egg. He did.
He didn't even show up in the stat sheet.
I know he didn't. I know he didn't.
So not only did he take on millions of dollars of fines, but he's
complete disaster. Complete disaster year for him personally.
He's not going to get paid in the offseason. He way overplayed his hand.
No, way overplayed his hand. Overplayed his
hand.
hand.
By the way, let's give it a little credit. I didn't really watch much of the game. I had it on my iPad. I was watching the World Series, obviously, and we'll talk about that too. But Russell Wilson, man.
Dude.
And credit to Mike Tomlin again.
No shit.
You go to a competent organization with a competent coach, and that's what you get. I mean, a couple of those throws he had last night. How about that?
That one down the sideline to Pickens.
George Pickens. You could not have thrown a better football than that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you couldn't. There's not a person in the world that you could get to throw it because that was perfect. That was the perfect throw. It was unbelievable to watch.
God, he was so good.
What was your take on the Pickens touchdown that was ruled no touchdown?
No. What was it?
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah, I'm sure you're watching the series, but
I was watching.
He caught a ball and he tapped the same foot twice. So his left foot never hit the ground, but his right foot caught it and then he hopped it again.
No.
And the right foot was down again.
It says it in the rule book.
But that's fucking stupid, man. I'm sorry. It is. If my knee hits, it counts as 2 feet. If my elbow hits, it's 2 feet.
2 hops. No.
My
Your
calf
ass
hits, it's 2 feet.
Wait a minute. Your ass.
2 feet hit, it's not 2 feet.
Your ass and your knee, if they go down, they count if you're in.
I thought that should have been counted, man.
I've never heard of two. So a guy, he double hopped?
Yeah, watch it on Twitter after the show. I don't want to bring it up because last time I brought up a clip, the NFL tried to copyright us. So I'm not going to risk any copyright on YouTube. No. Yeah, watch it after the thing. I thought it should have been a touchdown for sure.
All right, here we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to read all the super chats, J-Bone. We promise you at the end of this here. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. You guys have been absolutely sensational as always. So here, who do you want to go first? Top 10 quarterbacks in the National Football League. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, listen, I mean, let me add some context before you go. 8 to 15 in the NFL right now is a complete and utter crapshoot, and you could argue it's even 8 to like 18. I mean, seriously, it's a moving board of chess pieces that really, depending on who you talk to and who they like, they'll have higher up than you.
Can you do that also with teams?
You can 100%, but more. Outside of the top 6 quarterbacks, which I really think it's only the top 6 that are set in stone, everything else is just interchangeable. I mean, there's just nothing there where I'm like, oh, he has to be above him. So let's go. We'll do it. But
all right.
My ranking is drastically different than it was 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh, but see, that's the league.
It's a league. Yeah, we're doing 2024 rankings. I'm not doing overall quarterback.
That's right. And by the way, that's why it changes every week.
Yeah, no doubt.
See, when you're a 79-year-old guy like Senor, and you got to sit there and just think that you got to land on the same take that you had in September, is absolutely asinine when the league changes every Sunday. He's such a stupid ass.
Appreciate you, Senor.
Yeah, whatever. Kiss my ass. Here we go. By the way, Senor, my balls are elite. That's what's elite. Here we go. Okay? All right. Big Cells. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Number 10. God, what an arm. This guy has one of the absolute best head coaches to play calling, and they're now going to be a force and a playoff contender in the entire year. He is the man from Oregon, Justin Herbert, at number 10.
No problem with that.
Number 9. I can't believe what I'm going to say. Jonathan Gannon is turning around the Arizona Cardinals. It's freaking unbelievable. And he's also turning around Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is on pace for 23 touchdowns and 5 picks and 3,900 yards, and he's playing Jalen Hurts football, and they're playing a lot like the Eagles in Arizona, and they're sitting at 4-4. That team, if you want to change uniforms, they don't have the roster the Eagles have. They're playing Eagle football, dude. I mean, and they could win the NFC West.
I can't say I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan, but he is playing well.
How about this? One team is going to come out of the West. They're not going to get 2 teams out of the West. They're not. Okay. Number 8. Holy cow. Has this guy made an impact in Hotlanta? Woo! Not even the birds can slow this guy down. He is Kirk Cousins at
Holy
number 8.
shit.
Atlanta
Kirk.
Falcons.
You got Kirk Shiesty in there?
He's going to throw for 4,700 yards and 39 touchdowns.
All right, you in the damn fucking yards, man.
No, wait, it's their trends on what he's meant to the offense. Hey, Kyle Pitts is now somebody. I mean, Desmond.
No, I like Kirk. I don't have a problem with Kirk. I think that's a little high for him.
Desmond Ritter, you think is really going to move the channel?
No, but I think 7 is a little generous for Kirk.
Number 6. About this guy riding the ship, and he's going to earn himself $61 million. And he gets on November 5th back Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy at number 6. At number 5, this guy has shut Big Sills up at least for 1 year about the Ohio State quarterback. C.J. Stroud, sitting there at number 5. Number 4, how does a guy have only 85 yards in passing, but yet has 3 TDs? I mean, what was he doing? Playing pitch and catch on the 2? I mean, that shows you running the ball, playing effective ball. Jared Goff right now has a quarterback rating that is out of this world. The last 4 weeks, he's over 150 for a quarterback rating. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's playing lights out.
And get this, Xander, he's playing better as he's getting older.
Well, yeah, he's learning more about and that's the style of quarterback that he is.
To your point, style of play plus good coaching. That guy, Ben Johnson, being his coordinator.
He does have he is one of those QBs though that has that style of play advantage where the longer he goes in the league, because he's not gonna, he's not running, so he's not gonna get overly beat up. He's gonna get better and better.
Number 3. I don't think you could ever have a top 3 without this guy in it. And 3 seems like blasphemy. I've got Patrick Mahomes sitting there at number 3. 7-0. They've won 13 consecutive ball games. They've beaten the Ravens. They've beaten the Niners.
He should be number 1 to me.
Right? Okay, sure. I mean, do you have a problem?
Wait, so Mahomes is obviously the greatest quarterback in the game. The guy is 7-1, and people are docking him. I'm not going there. I'm sorry.
Number 2, I got Lamar Jackson sitting at number 2 only because they took the L last week to the Browns last week.
And that means who? Is
number 1, the man from Buffalo, Josh Allen. Right now, the number 1 quarterback heading into week 9 at the NFL. Herbert 10, Murray 9, Cousins 8, Love 7, Purdy 6, 5 is Stroud, 4 is Goff, 3 is Mahomes, 2 is Lamar Jackson, and 1 is Josh Allen. Hang on for a minute. I don't see one guy in there. I mean, I don't see one guy. All right. Let's hear yours now here, Pander Xander.
All right. Well, look, they're not that much different, but like I said, 7-15 is a fucking crapshoot.
Did you hear my guy Randy Cross take a shit on me getting on here today, calling Hurts an elite guy? I almost killed him. I texted him.
No, he didn't really say he was elite.
I go, you're fired.
I listened back to it. He said, if you're one of the people that thinks top 10 to 12 is elite, then sure, he's elite. I don't. I think top 5 is elite. So he didn't say he was elite.
No, but
Technically, he
he's
said by
top
other
10.
people's standards, he'd be elite, but not by mine. It's
Mhm.
basically what Randy said. But number 1, I'm going one first. Patrick Mahomes. He's 7-0. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion in a 7-year career. Stop it with anybody else is better than him. If you want to remove Patrick Mahomes from my list, don't show me interceptions. Don't show me all the bullshit. Tell me when somebody dethrones him, okay? And then I'll start talking about the conversation on Patrick Mahomes not being number 1. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Playing great football. Didn't have his greatest week last week, but not a bad week. Solid. He's been the second best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. Number 3, the greatness of Josh Allen. I hate to say it to you, Eagle fans. I'm kind of almost Sileo-ized on Josh Allen. I really like the player. He's a really impressive quarterback. Number 4, I'm taking C.J. Stroud there. I was going to put Joe Burrow. I was thinking Jared Goff. I'm going to go C.J. I think he has inherent talent right now. That's going to now he lost Diggs now, so let's see what he does. But I think he had him. He didn't have him last year, so I think he's going to be good. Number 5, I put Jared Goff edging out Joe Burrow. So number 5, I got Jared Goff who's just playing lights out. Number 6, I have Joe Burrow. And now is when the crapshoot begins of take your pick. If you're talking to LJ, it's Jalen Hurts. If you're talking to Pander Xander, it might even be Jalen Hurts. It could be Jordan Love. It could be Jaden Daniels, which, by the way, I mean, I'm having a really hard time with the Jaden Daniels thing. Like, I know he looks good, but am I really putting this guy in my top 10 quarterbacks on 7 games?
Doesn't he look a little bit kind of like Stroud did in his rookie year where he's winning ball games and he's putting great numbers up? I mean, they're kind of the
let's just
same,
review
dude.
real quick, all right? I know, he's got good numbers. Okay.
And they're winning.
4 field goals and a lucky-ass bomb in that game versus the Bears. That's it.
Okay.
He could. So wait, so I get it. I get it. He's got 5 or 6 wins, whatever he's got. That's not sustainable. You talk about things that aren't sustainable. He couldn't put together a drive, but you got a lucky Hail Mary
Your
to
metrics
get a
aren't
win.
wrong.
Great. Awesome. You made
But your
headlines.
metrics
and Twitter
aren't wrong
talked
with
about you.
them when I apply that to the Eagles and say you've only beat one team with a
Look
500
at James
record.
Jones. James, that's not sustainable winning.
Hold on. James, guess what I'll do to him, though? You know what's not sustainable? Putting up all these numbers against teams under 500. So you want to go down and use a metric here of like who they've beaten. You got a Hail Mary. Well, they've beat one team with a winning record. That's the Packers, man.
Eagles can't control that.
Okay, well, when you're looking, well, then Bears can't either. They're finding a way to win. The metric has to work on both sides. It has to work on both sides. Let me hear the rest of your list. Let's go here.
All right. Number 7, I put Jordan Love. I think he's a little high, but he's a really talented football player, and you can see the flashes of it. He's throwing way too many interceptions right now, but once he cleans that up, I think he's going to have a really chance to be a dominant quarterback in the league.
Have you
And the
been
Green Bay
surprised?
Packers are playing really good football right now. What's that?
Have you been surprised about his play?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of always felt like he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this good this quick.
I didn't think Green Bay would have 3 in a row, though.
I know, and that's where John's like, it's unbelievable what they're doing. So you could maybe argue me on Jordan Love, but I like the player a lot. That might be more of a Xander bias than anything. Number 8.
Oh, God.
Number 8. The greatness of Jalen Hurts cracking my top 10.
God.
Because, I had him 9, and then I'm like, fuck Jaden Daniels. The dude won on a Hail Mary. He's got 7 games in the league. I'm not putting Jaden Daniels over Jalen Hurts, who's 30-9, who's been to a Super Bowl, and who's finding his rhythm in an offense. He completed 80% of his passes last year. He had 4 total touchdowns, no interceptions in 4 games, no turnovers in 3 games. I'm sorry, James Jones. You're going to have to get out of here. Jaden Daniels, number 9. And number 10, I'll put your man Kyler Murray.
Good grief almighty. Did you hear what he just said about Jalen Hurts? So here, let me put it in perspective here for all you guys. And we're talking
I'm
about
not saying fuck Jaden Daniels. I'm saying
Hold on
the
here.
dude has 7 games.
Hold on here. Well, we're only talking about the 24 season. We're not talking about careers here. And we're talking about the 2024 year here. So right now, Jalen Hurts is on pace for 3,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 picks. I don't know how anybody in their right mind for the first 8 weeks could say that that's an elite quarterback there right now when you got just as many interceptions almost as touchdown passes. Yes, different conversation is Silsey's trending in the right direction the last 3 weeks. Well, unfortunately, the last 3 weeks doesn't encompass the first 8 weeks of the season. We're talking about right now, 2024, who's played the best football at the quarterback position. Well, Hurts has played really good ball the last 3 weeks. I get it. I hear you. I seen it. Those 14 passing attempts. I got it. I'm right in there with you. I'm in there. But the first 8 weeks of the season, this guy has been, I don't know, okay. I mean, dude, you would never even put him next to Mayfield's going to throw for 4.
I know, but look, all right, look.
Mayfield has 21 touchdown passes.
I agree. I'm being a little Eagle fanny with it, but here's why I went there, because, and this is the list of crapshoot where you can basically pick your names, right?
You can.
Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels, right? I mean, depending on who you talk to.
Shit, even Trevor Lawrence, he's ninth in passing yards. Trevor's ninth in passing yards. By the way, you say he's had a bad year? Okay, well.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, but what's up with you in the passing yards?
Because the passing yards, the reason I brought the topic up today was Kellen Moore was brought in to improve Jalen Hurts as a passer, not as a runner. We already knew he was an elite runner. He was brought in to improve him as a passer.
He was brought in to build a great offense.
It's not been great. You're 22nd in passing. You're number one in one thing. You're number two in the thing you do great for the last without him here. That's running the ball. Great.
We're top 10.
He made no impact on your offense so far when it came to running the ball. You've always been good at it.
Dude, the top 5 passers in the league are like Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield. Like it's not a good stat. It's not the right stat to go by.
Okay. So then, like I said, okay.
Kirk Cousins has led the league in passing how many times? How many Super Bowls does he have? Like it's just not Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards 1 year. Like it's just not a good stat. I don't really care for passing yards that much.
Here's why that is a flawed comment here. If that's the case, why are your Eagles spending up $51 million then for wideouts and spending $50 million on a quarterback if they don't believe in the passing attack?
I'm not saying they don't believe in the passing attack. It's not boiled down to what the numbers are, though.
You're paying those guys to put a passing offense together, not be second in rushing.
No, but it's a whole collective. It's a team sport, Sills.
You're 22nd in passing and you're second in rushing. And you know why? Because Barkley and Hurts have.
You're acting like it's 3-on-3 out there, dude. It's not. It's not schoolyard.
Why are you paying these guys then if you're not trying to improve your passing attack?
Because it makes your offense better.
But it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
Your passing game is lesser even than the
You're
Jacks.
talking about the passing game. I'm talking about the offense.
The trends are still there that this team does not throw the ball well. They're 22nd.
The offense is good. They're top 10
offense. The offense is unbalanced right now. It's not good. He's taking off the Cincinnati game that it's good. Okay. Now I get it.
I'm just not infatuated with passing yards.
Why? The Eagles are.
Because Jalen Hurts was 16-20 this week, and he had 230 passing yards. And someone could go and say, "Oh, Baker Mayfield threw for 400 yards." I don't give a shit. We won the game. You know what I care about in quarterbacking? I care about efficiency. Jalen Hurts had no turnovers this week, and he was 80% completion percentage.
Okay, get this in taking. He's 25th in taking sacks. And success rate, he's 15th.
25th, you mean 5th or 7th?
No, 15th this year.
No, 25th in taking sacks would be good.
No, he's at the bottom in taking sacks.
And sack rate. Okay.
Sack rate. My bad. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He holds on the ball because he's a playmaker. He's not a slinger. He's not a pocket passer. There's pros and cons to that, which you're going to have to live with.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wonder what Howie and Jeffrey are thinking. when you have your passing attack is 22nd.
Well, no, the other thing I factored into my quarterback evaluation for this list, which will change every week, by the way, is wins. And that's why I had a hard time knocking Jaden Daniels too a little bit because, you know, Brock Purdy, I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he fits well in the system. He's not winning right now at a high rate. Sam Darnold has won, but I just don't believe in Sam. Baker Mayfield, I'm not putting it on him, but they don't have a lot of wins.
He
Stafford,
did beat you.
What's that?
He did beat the Eagles.
Well, he did, but they're what, 4-5 right now? Now I know I'm not blaming Baker. I'm just saying.
Are they? I think
4-5
or something like that. But go ahead. Yeah,
What's
no,
that?
I think they're 4-3 or something like that, or 4-4.
No, I think they're 4. Well, no, 4-5. They can't be 4-5. We're only through week 8.
They're not under 500 yet. Okay, they're not under. I think they're either
4-4,
4-4, 4-3, or something like that. I think there's something.
Record. Yeah, they're 4-4. Falcons are 5-3. I mean, the Eagles are 5-2. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know, I think it sells, and I understand that your point, and I understand wins aren't entirely a quarterback stat.
No, but
for the people who push back on your arguments, right, or who say you're a Hurts hater and you're wrong about Jalen, I think there's like a simple. People say like believe what you see with your own 2 eyes. This has been a very winning team since Jalen Hurts has been the quarterback. Whether you like Jalen or not, whether you believe in his style, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about just in general. Whether you believe in his style of quarterbacking or not, this team has won a lot of fucking football games with him, man. A lot. Like, he's been the winningest quarterback maybe in Eagles history in terms of percentage.
But no one's debating this. I'm talking about championship football.
I'm just saying, I think there's a general eye test thing of people like, why am I being told my quarterback sucks when we win? We win so much.
Okay, well, then let me rephrase that question of yours. Do you see championship football right now?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I think the Bengals.
You see winning football, right?
I see winning football, and I think the Bengals game was the best sign yet we've seen. But, you know, you played versus a 21st ranked defense. You're not going to play versus that late in the playoffs. So you're going to have to keep building. I'm not saying that. I'm not ready to crown them now. I'm just saying I will say I have been more encouraged by the progress of the last couple of weeks. And I was encouraged by what we did versus the Cincinnati Bengals because Jalen did throw the ball. I mean, I know it wasn't too much, 20 attempts. He was
they ran really well to open up the passing game like they did in 22.
Plays in the air. He had a nice deep ball to Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown was involved. He got Calcaterra involved. Like, I saw things there that I'm like, okay, now you're starting to find that rhythm, right? And if you go back to our conversations in the offseason, we talked a lot about how Eagle fans might be disappointed early in the year because it might take a little bit to get this thing going. So if I go off the trends and now I'm going to project, which I don't know if this is going to happen, the projection would be, okay, it took a little bit in the first 6 weeks to figure this offense out. Now they're finding their groove, right? Now they're finding what they want to do.
I don't know
if
they found work better. I think they have now protected the football the last 3 weeks. I don't know if the offense yet has found their groove yet until they start to see a couple more games here.
Well, they did just drop a 37 burger.
Yeah, but like I said,
it should have been a 40 burger if it wasn't for a shitty holding call.
Again, like I said, I want to see more than 3 hours of football.
I get that. I'm just telling you what I'm going on.
I said, how they win and how they lose is going to matter to me. If they look the same and they're in tight games and they lose a game by a point, I'm not going to take a shit on that. Because if they look like that and they're building like that and they're going to play like that, so look at Baltimore. I'm not really taking a shit on Baltimore because they lost to a guy they hadn't prepared against with Jameis Winston. That's a coaching thing and a player not being ready to play against the Browns. Plus, it's the divisional foe. Hey, man, those games happen to everybody. You end up getting upset like that. I get it. So I'm not going to totally take a shit on that because they played great ball. I look at the overall body of work and what you've done. That's why last year when you guys were out to that great start, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really seeing great football right now. And it played out that way. I want to see more than Cincinnati. By the way, again, I think Cincinnati validated Cleveland and New York more. That means now more to me because now I add the turnovers in, the running the ball better. Now you take it into the Jags game. By the way, just because the Jags are shitty, it's not the Eagles' fault. Play to your strengths. Play the way you want. Keep that trend going.
Well,
and then when you get into those really tougher games coming up on the back end of the Jags, then you're really going to know who you are after those 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're about to learn a lot more. I would agree with that for sure. But let me ask you this. If the Eagles are able to extrapolate what they did versus the Bengals and kind of make that their usual play, or let's just say that's their baseline, you think they're a Super Bowl contender?
I do, because it reminds me of 22, because what's the one thing they're going to do with the limited passes and with the running and playing better defense? What's allowing them to play like that, Xander, is because the defense is coming along quicker. The defense is now coming along here where you're not going to be behind in the game. You're not going to be behind the sticks. I've always told everyone in here, if Hurts plays like 22, you are a Super Bowl team. If he plays like 23, you're nowhere to be seen. Last couple trending games, we start the Browns game and the Bengals game. You're starting to see a little bit of that. And I truly believe in my heart that Saquon Barkley has forced the hand of that offensive people. And that, you know what Kellen Moore said today? Kellen Moore said this today, and this makes me even now, and you tell me if I'm overreading this here. Kellen Moore said this when someone asked him the question about how they prepare for an upcoming game. Here's what Kellen said. Someone asked him about the first 20 plays and how they script the plays out. He goes, it's a giant process. Every coach on the offensive coaching staff has a say in the process of us putting together the first scripted plays. Jeff Stoutland has say. Everyone has say. Then we come up with a process to put our game plan together. That just tells you right there that it's too many hands in the opening part of the game, and that the offensive coordinator doesn't really have the autonomy that Vic Fangio has, Vic has the complete autonomy on the defensive side. And Xander, I think that's why the defense is coming along quicker and it's taking the offense slower, because there's too many fucking mouths open and there's too many hands on the damn game plan.
Yeah, but
it's
remember,
coming along.
it's the coaches are learning too.
Hang on. It's coming along slower on that side because of too many mouths.
No, I think you're right about that. But, the coaches are learning too.
Yes.
I mean, it's an offensive coach who hired an offensive coordinator. There's going to be these are humans, everybody. It's not a fucking algorithm. It's not Xbox where you turn it on and it just starts working because you got two offensive minds. So I think there's a little bit of learning curve there too. And here's what I'll say. Football is the ultimate team game. So as we sit here and talk about quarterbacks, yeah, a lot of the quarterbacks ahead of Jalen Hurts on this list, I don't think any of them, I think most of them, including my number 2 quarterback, have much less of a chance at winning a Super Bowl than the Philadelphia Eagles do, because the defense for the Eagles is way ahead of schedule and way better than we were expecting. The offense is finding rhythm, and Jalen Hurts is getting back to 22 form, potentially, if he does what he did in the game versus the Bengals. And I think the NFC is a different conference. The reason I say that about the Ravens, I love Lamar Jackson. He's playing lights out football. I don't think they have a chance in hell at winning a Super Bowl. You know why? Because they got to go through the AFC. And in the AFC, you got to be able to pass the football and win in the air in a big way. And I don't see them yet being able to compete with the Josh Allens.
That's why they made the move for that wideout. That's why they made that move today.
I agree.
For that wideout.
Now Eagles on the other hand, the NFC, the best team in the NFC is through 8. How many passes did Jared Goff throw last week?
4, 5, 6.
The best team in the NFC are bullying teams. If we find that identity, we can bully our way right through the NFC. And if our defense is let's just say might be a top 10. If it's top 10, you're giving yourself a good chance in that title game. Now, you might not win it. All right. But shit, man, like I'm starting to believe in what the Eagles are showing me. Am I being maybe green colored glasses? Maybe a little bit. I don't feel like I am, because I feel like this team really does have a lot of talent.
I don't see anything near that. But go ahead. I don't see anything near that. I mean, I'm looking at the first 8 weeks. I'm looking at the first. Hold on. I'm looking at the first 8 weeks of how they've played. The only people I'm not going to worry about San Francisco and Detroit. I'm going to worry about Philly. Get your rhythm going. Get like Kellen Moore said today in the presser. Get your rhythm going. Get everybody on the same page. Take care of Philly first. Then you worry about the Lions, Xander. Get that thing going right. And get that going. When you start looking up and looking around at the rest of the conference, that's when you're going to get beat and upset by a team like Jacksonville. Worry about what you have to do, because the only opponent that can beat the Philadelphia Eagles this year is the Philadelphia Eagles, really.
Well,
Because
that's
watch
fair.
this. Is there anybody in the NFC this year that Philly can't beat? The answer is no.
And that's where a lot of my projections come in.
But can they beat themselves? Yes.
They could. You're right. But
They
I
did
look
a year
around the
ago.
NFC. There's not a team in the NFC that I'm afraid of. Detroit
Right.
is really good. I'll give Detroit credit. They're
Yeah,
really
but
good.
guess what? We'll wait and see what they lost
Exactly.
Aiden Hutchinson. That's
Exactly.
got to play a factor.
Exactly. Let's see. The war of attrition is also something
Yeah.
that matters in a big way. So,
Dude, I'll tell you what, you lose another player in that defense up in Detroit, and you got a trading deadline coming up next week, and you don't make any moves, and you lose that kid Campbell at linebacker. How good are you really going to be up there in Detroit if you drop? Or how about this one? God forbid you drop Jalen Carter in the middle of that defense. How are you going to look?
yeah.
I mean, so that's all a part of this.
no, it is. I mean, that's the NFL, though, right? I mean, shit. When you're talking to a fan that won the Super Bowl.
That's
though,
why
back
it's a
to quarterback.
changing.
I mean,
That's why it's a changing of the guard every week.
no, I get it. You're right about that. There's no doubt. But when I look at everything, I think the Eagles are in a good spot if they can build on what they've done. If they're going to try and be something they're not, I'm going to go back to criticizing them and thinking that we don't have a chance.
They are and who they are right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they're starting to show some really positive signs. And I think, to be honest with you, I think as much as I know that we go as far as Jalen takes us, that defense has given me a lot of confidence. Because remember, we thought we had Super Bowl aspirations if they were top 18, 15. Right now, they look better than that. Now, will they hold it? That's a question that still is yet to be answered. But if they are, I mean, shit, I like us versus anybody. I really do. Now, doesn't mean we're going to win every game. Doesn't mean that we have the greatest team on earth. But I just like the setup for the Eagles in the NFC. It's so wide open right now. There's just nobody that really scares me. I mean, just look through it, right? I mean, Commanders, I'm sorry, not really.
Nope.
NFC West, I mean, 49ers are probably going to be somebody, but we'll see. Cardinals, no, don't really scare me. Lions and Packers, the NFC North is solid.
I want to see what the Niners look like when they get McCaffrey back on November 5th.
Yeah, we'll see what they look like. I don't think you can count them out because they got a lot of good players.
You
and they
can't
always
count them out because the NFC, I think, keeps everyone in it.
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, the NFC is so wide open right now. It's almost hard to look at. I mean,
would this shock you if you saw a combination of this in the NFC Championship game? The Rams versus the Lions, or the Eagles versus the 49ers, or Washington versus Chicago. That's probably the furthest stretch, right? Because of the two rookie quarterbacks.
right.
Okay. That's probably the biggest stretch there. Okay. I mean, so again, let's read these super chats, Xander.
Yeah. I see Shitlist Kim has decided to show up. Prince Swayze checks in. The Bengals lost to the Chiefs by 1 and lost to the Ravens by 3.
Such a stupid metric.
We beat the Browns, who beat the Ravens. It's week by week who plays on the schedule. Yeah, Prince, but
That's
I
what
try
he's
not to
saying,
look.
though. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what he's
I
saying.
get what he's saying too, but I don't.
Yeah.
I agree with
No,
it.
I don't look at it like that. Week in and week out, Prince. I think that's what you're saying. I agree with you.
Sills wants us to forget the 4 total touchdowns Hurts had.
That's what I want you to do. Okay.
You know, it is weird.
You're going to
though.
have to win a
Wait,
Super
can I ask you a real football question?
Sure.
When is a team going to figure out how to stop the tush push?
Oh, I've never seen anything like it.
It's weird. Like, it's almost weird.
I told a guy last night, can I tell you what that play reminds me of? The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook. You couldn't defend it.
Right.
I don't know how you defend that. I just don't know how you defend it, man. I mean, get this. You know, they've gotten closer on it. It's the two quarterbacks. Carson Wentz was 26 and 28 at it, and now this guy too.
I think Stoutland deserves some credit too.
It's got to be Jeff.
I mean, dude, the reason I say that is because, like, you watch the Bengals. The Bengals knew what gap the Eagles were going through. What is it, the A gap there, or whatever it is behind
on the left side when he went over and
they knew.
Yeah,
they said
gaps.
Trey Hendrickson went over the top, and the Hubbard guy, I believe, went over there. They knew where they were going, and they still couldn't stop it. And that's where I'm like, we live every down, every play, every drive for the Eagles were 1st and 9. I mean, that's how I look at it.
I played goal line defense before, and I've never seen where you just can't stop a goal line.
I know
Goal line play like that. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's really weird. Barkley Offensive Player of the Year or too soon?
Henry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Henry's
He's
well,
having a nice season, Bo.
I'll tell you what, though, Jeff. Let's see how it plays out, though.
Don't they if they do Offensive Player of the Year, don't they do it by conference?
Yes, they do it by conference.
Yeah, so he could win the NFC potentially. I'd have to look. I don't know who.
That guy Aaron Jones up there in Minnesota is having a hell of a year too.
Didn't he miss a couple games though?
I thought he had 3 touchdowns last week.
Josh B checks in. What would be a good draft spot for Davis? Do you need a nose tackle too high of a pick for only a run stop guy? But where should he have been picked?
I said 22, 25.
Yeah, right there. Right around there.
Hey, by the way, Josh, 25 or 22? Well, that's all right. I'm all right with that with him down there. 13, you needed more in the pass rush, and he's not giving you any production. And if you're now telling me he's a first and second down guy, but like Xander said, the problem you have is not that what he said, he's a run stop guy. He's only getting 20 plays a game.
Yeah, I mean,
I
hear your point, but dude, it's like even Johnny Mack is telling me it's interesting because he doesn't know what they're going to do because he's been good as a nose, but 20 snaps is not enough to quantify.
Are you going to
draft pick or the next contract?
Are you going to give him $12 million?
I don't know. I don't see it
for 20 plays.
I don't see it.
Not me.
You know what I think it will come down to? What Vic Fangio says. Like if Vic is like, I need that guy, maybe. If he's like, we can get somebody
Milton Williams
else.
Is better.
I know, but Milton Williams can't do what Jordan does.
What is he doing over 20 plays?
When they line up in the 5-man front.
Man, that's a lot of money for a guy.
I know. I agree.
Man.
I agree. He's a tough conversation. It's interesting to Josh, thanks for the super chat, man. Dor Gunner says, the ghost of Dan Snyder's past are being exercised this season. Us Commanders fans deserve this. Philly games are going to be awesome and fun to watch. Dor, we're going to blow your doors off, Dor Gunner. We're going to throw. Actually, I might predict the sweep of the Commanders this year. I think you guys are a whole lot of fairy dust and way too much hype, and I need to see more.
Hey, did you like my idea to bring a brick to the link for Josh Harris so he could build his arena down in Chinatown? Instead of giving you financial funds, just bring a brick from one of the broken down buildings you got in Philly, because I'm not giving that dude shit.
This team hasn't had a winning season since 2015, where they were 9-7.
They got great coaching. They got great coaching in that building right now going on, though.
Yeah, I'm not a Quinn guy, but I do like.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's been to a Super Bowl too, like your boy has as a head coach, and he has a ring as a coordinator.
Now,
I forgot Nick's Chuck Noll. Go ahead.
Commanders don't scare me. I'm sorry, they don't. Do something first. Prince Swayze. The Saints were coming off blowing out 2 teams, scoring over 45 points. They were 2-0. You said we didn't stand a chance. Now the narrative has changed.
Oh, because the team has changed.
Prince, the Saints suck, dude. That's not a good win. I'm sorry.
Prince, they changed because the team changed. They're 2-5. Holy shit. Go ahead, please. I can't take that guy. He's
elite.
Elite.
I like that. I like that one there. Philly special makes Doug a legend. Yes, always sunny. Yes, it does.
It sure does.
This proves the NFL. Oh, I think you got these. This proves the NFL is weak as shit this year. It is. It is. One more we got. Will Dan Campbell be a Hall of Fame at the end? Too early to say that, man.
Absolutely. And by the way, Yale, he also has an NFC championship ring as a head coach of the Falcons.
Wait, there's people. Wait, let me ask a couple of these people. Xander's moving mad.
What?
Xander talking heavy. So now Philadelphia, they get a quarterback who puts together 5 good games, and the whole city of Philadelphia is going to sit here and act like the Washington Commanders are the greatest thing to ever happen in the NFL.
Wait, you paid a guy $250 million after 17.
I know that these are listeners of the Big Sill Show who tells you all the time about, not jumping on one game or it's 7 games.
Absolutely.
It's 7 games, guys.
He looks awful good, but you're right.
I mean, they had 4 field goals and a lucky ass Hail Mary to beat the measly Bears.
Hey, how's that Anthony Richardson working out in Indianapolis right now?
That dude stinks.
Hey, I got to come out. They benched him because he's an asshole. Have you ever seen a guy benched because he's an asshole? That league doesn't do that, dude. They benched him because he's an asshole.
Look, Kim's talking about how elite she is because she's training for a marathon. Congratulations, Kim. You know what you're not elite at, Kim? Consuming martinis and being a rational human being, because Kim on Sunday came in my inbox, my email inbox, crying up a storm like an emotional, erratic freak because she didn't know how to click a link in the chat.
Oh, my
Kim,
God.
you're on
Kim,
my shit list, Kim.
I want you to stop, Kim, because you have to stop. I love you,
I mean,
Kim.
I finished the
You have-
post-game show.
you
I'm like,
have
what a
to
great
stop.
show. JAKIB Nation show
Hey,
and out. Had
Kim.
great conversation with everybody.
Will you
Like,
please
what's
stop,
this email?
Kim? Kim, stop it, Kim. I want you to do me a favor. When you're on his shit list, here's what you do. Let it go. Let it go, Kim.
No.
Okay?
Kim will be called out. Kim will be
You
called
called
out.
her out 2 days in a row now.
Good. She should have thought about that before she dropped a nasty ass email
And
in my inbox.
Kim, I got to tell you, he's right. Okay? Come on now. Let's go here.
Clary Voice says,
I love you,
Eagles
Kim.
stats will be inflated. 3 teams with winning record left on schedule will be 22 all over again. Strength of schedule. NFC North has its own division. Eagles will be number 1 spot, top 5. What's DO?
God knows. God knows strength of schedule. Clairvoyant. Try giving us an uncomplicated super chat. By the way, I totally appreciate you, brother. And if you write down something that we can decipher here, okay, I'll comment on it here in a second.
What do you mean? What's so hard to? The only thing I don't understand is the end. Eagles stats will be inflated because there's 3 teams with a winning record left on the schedule. Yeah, they're playing a bunch of stiffs.
So why are you so angry today? What's your problem, man? Why are you so angry today?
I'm fired up.
Now you're angry Xander. Before you're pander Xander, now you're angry Xander. What's going on here? Why are you so pissed off? Sounds like somebody pissed on your back here. What's going on? Why are you're not?
You know what I'm pissed off about? That Philadelphia is laying down.
You're blowing him up for a second day in a row. You're kissing Jalen Hurts' ass. You're awful mean right now. Why are you mean? What's going on here?
Because Philadelphia is laying down and acting like I need to fear the Commanders. The Commanders. They can't even keep their own identity over there.
Angry Xander today, man.
As the Redskins, they got to change the pander to everybody else. Talk about pandering. Holy mackerel. They get rid of their entire identity as a franchise. And they got one dude who shows up who's like 190 pounds, and I'm supposed to fear him because he had a couple good weeks. Let me see it. All right? Let me see it.
Jesus.
For all the criticism on Jalen Hurts, I've watched him win playoff games.
Oh, I see now. Boy, you're angry on the criticism of Jalen Krause. I got it.
I'm a little hangry. Charlie says hangry. I might be a little. First off, Sills bumped me from 3:30, which I'm not used to. Now I got production to do. I'm going to be working all night. Philly doesn't let me get in my bag. And now he's giving me BS on the list.
Wait a second here. You have to filibuster him like you do McMullen when you're talking around here, because these 2 guys want to put a bill on the floor and they want to make sure they jam it home. Holy cow. Top 10 quarterback off of the Bengal game. Congratulations to you. Way to go.
The Commanders are 66 and 87 since 2015.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, let me just lay down and act like they're 130 and 183 since 2005. They're an inept franchise. They suck. They've won. What do they have? 1 playoff win in like 20 years? Like, I don't fear them. I think the Cowboys have a better chance to beat us once.
They got more Super Bowls than you.
What's that?
You got more Super Bowls than you.
Well, when?
I'm just saying. You want to go back in history here? Let's go history lessons here.
I'm going in the last 20 years.
The ones that matter. Okay.
Well, no, just the modern era of times.
All right.
When did the salary cap start?
Angry Xander, man. I got it here.
When did the salary cap start?
Early 2000s? Something like that.
I'm not putting any words in your mouth, Flex.
Holy cow. Angry Xander.
I didn't even mention your name, Flex. Come on, man.
Look at
Don't
this.
make me come for your ass,
Flex,
too. Right
he's
now.
coming after everybody today here, man. Holy
I'm out here slashing people with a knife.
No
baby.
doubt, man. This guy's like the Hillside Strangler over here going after folks, man. What, 95 was that's when the cap was implemented? Was 90? No. Was that when the cap was implemented? Was 95? Was it during Jimmy?
Yes, Neil, this is correct. Anything before I was born don't mean shit. When's the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl? I was born in 98.
Well, they won a Super Bowl in 96. I think 96 and 94.
Flex says, I don't want that smoke. All right, Flex, you go lay down to the Commanders, my dude.
All right, let me get you the hell out of here. You're so angry, man. You need to have anger management classes.
No, I don't. Shut up.
Holy cow, man. Oh, my God. This is the angriest I've ever seen you, man. I mean,
Jalen Hurts playing like a top 10 quarterback.
Oh.
Defense number 1 in the league since the bye week. I'm feeling pretty good.
Jalen Hurts is playing like a top 10 wishbone quarterback. He surely is. He looks good at it, too. Xander, holy cow. This was on fire today, man. You banged on, you hit on, and you kicked everyone around today, man. Everybody.
I wasn't trying to pick on
Don't
anybody.
ever move Xander. Hey, by the way, before I get you
I didn't pick on anybody except for Kim.
How about this? Yankees finished tonight?
That's another thing I'm not ready to say. Well, look, hear me out. Dodgers have a bullpen game tonight, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe they come into this game, they give up a couple runs early. I mean, I want to say the Yankees are out because they look lifeless and they're not fun to watch. Like, they don't look like a team that's in the World Series. They're completely lifeless. And you get the 5 in the lineup, it's like Derek goes a chance at a run, right? I mean, there's the back end dudes. Now I know that Verdugo had a home run last night in the bottom of the 9th, but I don't know, man. They don't look very good.
This looks like one of the worst World Series Yankee teams of all time.
I know. You know, it's funny about Aaron
We're
Judge.
going to get swept for the first time since 1976, and it's going to be in their building just like it was when they got swept by the Reds.
Good night, Yanks. You might be right about that. Ohtani is the GOAT. Ohtani hasn't done much in this series.
Yeah, but that shows you how deep that roster is. Because
yeah, right. It's more the Dodgers than it is Ohtani.
Freddie Freeman's going to win the MVP award.
Wait, so let me ask you this, because you're a Yankee honk. Is Aaron Judge going to go down as the worst Yankee captain of all time?
He is right now the Lamar Jackson of baseball. Hey, great during the regular season.
No, but I mean, if you think about Yankee captains, I mean, Derek Jeter had 5 world titles.
Yeah, okay. And Munson had 3. The guy before that, Elston Howard, had 7. What's his name? Garrick had. There's only been 5, I believe. Garrick had 9. I mean, dude, you can't get swept like that and then do dick in it. You just can't.
No, you can't.
I mean, I don't care how many home runs he's hit, dude. You're not, when you go to New York, dog, you're not gauged on what home runs you hit. You're gauged on world.
Yeah, Aaron better show up.
Yankees don't hang AL pennants in the outfield like the Phillies do. Hanging up NL pennants. Wait, they don't do that shit.
How many Phillies fans are in the chat right now? I'm curious. I'm curious how many Philly fans are in the chat. Phillies, not Philly. Phillies fans.
You guys hang AL National League East pennants.
Wait, you want to know what's worse than that? You want to know what's worse than that? The Phillies, you know what their number 1 hype song is to get ready for a World Series?
Tell me.
They're talking about getting cucked. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. I'm like, what is this dorky ass song that this team is playing to get jacked up for the World Series? I can't stand that stupid song. And then I think about professional athletes dancing to it in the locker room with their shirts off. And I'm like, all right, this team is too fruitcakey for me.
No doubt. You need to wear a thong in the baseball dugout there if you're a Phillies guy, because that's a thong
brutal.
song.
I mean,
man.
Seriously, Sue, who picked that thing? And better, who agreed to make it? I mean, who agreed to make it the song? And not only for like 3 straight years now, that's been their rally cry. 3 straight years of singing that weird song about watching somebody kiss your girl. It's really a weird thing.
Is that Katy Perry song?
No, it's by some dude, and it was funny. I think he did a concert in Philly, and his concert ended up being the day after they got knocked out, which was hilarious.
Let me go.
That makes a lot of sense. Garrett Stubbs picked it. Yeah, Crowley, that might be the first mistake with that franchise.
Hey, let me go. I want to take a timeout. We'll wrap it up. Hey, great stuff, Xander.
I'm going to be working all night now. Thanks, Sills. Appreciate everybody. Sorry if I was a little too angry today. Tim, you know I love you, but stay out of my email inbox after a couple martinis. I mean, seriously. If
Look
you're
at him,
having
man.
martinis, Jacob's not for you. Okay.
I
Thanks.
appreciate it. Thank you, Xander. All good, man. Do me a favor. Hit the button. Hey, he's no longer Pander Xander. He's now Angry Xander. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Please hit the like button. So Giselle's knocked up already, huh? Oh, wow, that didn't take long. Hey, Tom, just a little advice for you here. Dude, when she has 3 jiu-jitsu 3-hour training sessions a week, and you're not home with a good-looking jiu-jitsu guy, I mean, really? I mean, I'm like, and then 18 months after your divorce, she's knocked up. I'm just saying, I mean, come on, man. It has to be a giveaway here a little bit. Hey, Giselle's pregnant. Wow. What, really? And then Tom throws out some sort of rainbow thing on Instagram. My heart is broken. Love is in the air. Freedom of moving on, or something like this. And I'm like, Jesus, this guy's writing a soliloquy on broken heart. And I'm like, wow. Now I know what happened there, dog. Too many jiu-jitsu lessons for Giselle. See what happens, man? When she's giving the high kick, she was giving the high kick. How you doing? Oh, man. And nobody cares about Giselle. I get it. Okay? And holy cow, man. Hey, and then Giselle's got a jitsu guy. Guy makes $22 an hour. Not there's anything wrong with that. He makes $22 an hour. And this guy's, who was the guy's, hey, do me a favor. Who's the guy that OJ knocked off that he was having an affair with Nicole? Ron Goldman? This guy's like Ron Goldman here. This guy's drinking out of the OJ cup. He's sitting in the OJ chair. Right? He's walking around the OJ house. He's wearing the OJ robe. Ron Goldman's wearing the OJ robe, drinking out of the OJ cup of coffee thing. He's sitting down in the OJ recliner. I mean, what'd you think OJ was going to do? Is that guy sitting in my robe? That's what Tom is. The jiu-jitsu guy's wearing Brady's robe. Is that my robe? Holy cow. The jiu-jitsu guy's wearing my robe. Yeah, he's in Tom Brady's smoking chair. He's in my smoking chair. Oh, my God, what's going on over here? He's drinking out of the Tom Brady TB12 cup. Come on now, man. Oh, man, she's pregnant. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, Tom, you missed. Hey, for a guy that never missed really many passes, he missed this pass. This guy missed this pass. All right, enough of this. Dare I say this? I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to anyway. I'm working on number 88 tomorrow, and I'll leave it at that. We may have him in the first hour of the program, too. So make sure you're there. The first hour of the program. And by the way, I don't know if Mark Holmes is going to be drunk. I don't know if Philly's going to kick his ass tomorrow, Philly 500. We'll have that there for you as well. I appreciate you guys so much. Big Joe, Xander, thank you. Please hit the like button. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.